What's up and welcome back to the Kind of Funny Gamescast for Thursday, December 12th, 2024. Of course, I am your host, Tim Geddes. I'm joined today by Blessing Adeoye Jr.
Good day, Tim.
Snowbike Mike.
Good evening, Tim.
Andy Cortez.
Hello.
And Greg Miller.
It was good. Let's wrap it up. I want to go play Helldivers.
Yeah, that's how it goes. That's how it goes, right? We just watched the Game Awards 2024, the 10th anniversary celebration of this award show. You can watch our live reactions over on youtube.com/kindoffunnygames. But here, we're about to break down every single thing that we just saw. We're going to review what we just saw, and we're just going to have some great times talking about the good time that we just had for the last couple hours right here. And thank you all for hanging out with us all day on Twitch, on YouTube, wherever you are. Podcast listeners later, we appreciate you so very, very much. This is what it's all about, hanging out, talking about video games, loving them all. So thank you for being there with us throughout the day, each and every weekday here at Kind of Funny. A little housekeeping for you. Tomorrow, we're back with another beautiful day of stuff. Of course, starting the day with Kind of Funny Games Daily, leading into a Gamescast, and then, of course, there will be a game stream after that. But I want to give a very special shout-out to our Patreon producers, Carl Jacobs and Delaney Twining. You are the best of us. Today, we're brought to you by NVIDIA, Still Wakes the Deep, and Aura Frames, but we'll tell you all about that later. I don't want to waste any time. Let's get into it. The topic of the show. Game Awards 2024. We're going to review it. Then we're going to discuss everything. I want to start. I would like to start, if that's okay.
Oh, the floor, Tim, you start. Of course.
I almost wanted to be like, we have Gollum as a 1 out of 10. We might need to introduce an 11 out of 10. What would it be? But I got to be honest with myself. Got to be honest. We didn't have the chanting guy in the orchestra medley.
Okay.
So I think I'm going to have to settle at a 10 out of 10 for this one.
Thank you, Tim.
This, to me, this was as good as a showcase can possibly be. A Game Awards show for what we've seen from Keighley in the past to what we saw tonight. This, to me, solved so many of the problems that I've seen people have. I can't wait to see what problems people have. I'm sure they will. But I feel like this addressed them in such important ways. I feel like we didn't see anybody getting rushed giving a speech. Everyone gave their speeches. Even the translated ones had their time to like give a speech, have it translated in their native language, which I feel is very, very important. On top of that, we got a new Naughty Dog game. Are we freaking kidding ourselves here? A deep look into a Witcher sequel. What the fuck? And in between that, so many beloved old franchises coming back. Okami, Onimusha, Virtua Fighter 4, Ninja Gaiden, TUROK. Like, this is what my love for video games is all about. I am beside myself for how amazing this was. Bless, what about you?
Yeah, I mean, you touched on the same things that I was going to touch on, right? I think, for me, the announcements are awesome. The announcements are great, right? And we're going to talk about the announcements, which were fantastic this year. But for me, it does come down to, I think, the complaints and the feedback that I think a lot of people have every year, me included, right? Like, I'm somebody that comes out of the Game Awards year to year, and I'm one of those people that is like, man, we could have talked about the state of the industry more. Man, we could have, I think, done more and better things to maybe honor the people that work on the games, the devs, give them more time to speak, right? Like, that was something that I was very let down by last year coming out of it, right? The fact that there was this, with every person who went up to speak, kind of this anxiety of, oh, is this where they're going to get played off? Oh man, they've been talking for more than 10 seconds. Are they going to get played off? The fact that this year you had the opposite. You gave them the time to speak, and even more so than that, you changed up the future class thing. I don't know if he mentioned that if this was like the direct response to that or not, but I do like the inclusion of game changer. Hey, who is somebody in our industry that is doing things to make things better for people? Who is, sacrificing their time, sacrificing their resources, taking action to maybe help people find jobs, right? Or give people the resources to land back on their feet. We are going to highlight those people. We are going to talk about what is going on in our industry, and we're going to bring somebody up on stage to speak on it and give an impassionate speech, right? That, for me, is what the Game Awards should be about and what it should be doing. And this was the year where I think they've succeeded the most so far in that, and I really hope they continue to grow on that and focus in on that, because I think that is such an important part of the Game Awards. Cool, announcements, fucking awesome, love announcements. That's the stuff that we should be doing better here. Talking about announcements, though, man, 10 out of 10, I'm with you. Like, this was one of those ones where I cannot believe the announcements we got. There's a bar in a rap song, right? That's like, he writes his own rhymes, or sort of. I think that means I forgot better shit than you ever thought of. There are announcements that as the show is going on, I'm like, oh, I forgot they announced The Witcher. Oh, I forgot we got an Outer Worlds 2 window. Oh, I forgot we got a new game from Joseph Fares. Oh, fuck, a Virtua Fighter game was announced. FIFU was happening, right? There are so many banger announcements, and a lot of them feel aimed towards me, which I'll admit. But I think regardless, the fact that we got The Witcher 4 and we got a new Naughty Dog IP announcement, fucking awesome. And so this is a really fun time. This is a 10 out of 10 time to spend with you guys. And so for me, it's a 10 out of 10 showcase.
I love that, guys. I mean, it was hype. It was fun. It was a good time. A lot of great announcements. I'm going to give it a 9.5 out of 10, Tim. I felt like we lost the plot a little bit about the award showcase and actually giving those flowers where they are due and having teams come up and have their moment to shine. But I will say this. The pacing was great. He had a great job doing all the announcements. The Muppets were very funny, touching on some of the stronger moments of like, hey, let's razz Jeff a little bit. Let's talk about the industry. We had moments from, of course, Baldur's Gate 3 at the very end talking about the industry. We had the game changer. I think there was a lot of great moments there. I think the announcements were wild and awesome and great, and it kept you engaged. But I did think that, like, for an award show, it is odd that, like, I know we always go to the announcements. That's what keeps us, but we're not talking about the awards enough, right? And that's what an award show should be. So I'm going to give it a ding on the 0.5 there, but 9.5, still great.
Yeah, it's a 10 out of 10 for me. I agree with Tim where they, Jeff and the team addressed everything they needed to. And yes, it's still not perfect, but I just can't find myself being any more hyped with any other award show or any other presentation that they've put on. I don't know. I was just shocked by the amount of games that were announced that completely out of left field. Like when I was told there's two fucking crazy things that you need to watch out for that are like going to really, really kind of blow your mind. And I feel like I felt that way about 6 or 7 different things. Very, very awesome show, entertaining, definitely felt super long, but I've never really kind of worried about the length of the award shows. Like I'm just here to chill and vibe and hang out. A lot of fun hanging out with you all. Awesome showcase, great games being showed off. And some great messaging from what Blessy was mentioning with the Game Changer and there with Sven, I believe, is the CEO of Larian. Mm-hmm. Incredible speech. Could not have said it better. And I just had a really awesome time with it.
Greg Miller.
I'm the most controversial reviewer of 2024. What we got here is another Indiana Jones situation where everybody loves it, and I got to say it's okay. No, this was a 10 out of 10. This was a fantastic Game Awards. I think... I understand where there are a lot of awards too, but I think that this is the best they've ever done the awards. Mm-hmm. I enjoyed how they sprinkled them. I enjoyed when they would have to go, okay, cool, we're doing a bunch of fast ones here, but here are the ones that have the big presentation. Here are ones that don't have the big presentation, but are still an on-stage presence, and we're going to do that. Come up and speak. Yeah, early on, I talked about a tweet when we were live reacting that Steven Totillo put out. Like, oh, it's 45 seconds now, it seems. Never saw that, never felt that. Nobody seemed rushed. Everybody seemed like they got their chance to say what they needed to say. And I think, again, when you have so many games winning multiple awards and so many things to get through, I just thought it was a nice pace. I thought they had a good balance this year. And again, I think the caliber of announcements Jeff was able to get for this, for the 10th anniversary, the fact that it was so many bangers, the bars that I would never be able to repeat. But the idea that, you get back and you start looking back like, oh, right, that fucking happened, right? Like, it's not just Intergalactic. It's not just the last, 5 giant things that happened. It was everything in the front, everything in the middle. I do think there was a dip there, as there always is, but this is one of those years where the dip happened or the thing popped that definitely wasn't for me, and I went to the bathroom, or it was just a commercial for a mobile game. And I really was like, I needed this time. This is actually a place to catch my breath, where this has been a breakneck pace. There is so much going on here. And again, to use the review scale and the words we use, right? 10's a masterpiece. That doesn't mean it's perfect, but I do think that this is a masterpiece. Like this, well said. Yeah. This went far beyond amazing for me.
Yeah, and to Mike's point, right? Like I agree as far as I think there are things that they could have done better. Like even the Muppets thing, I think was very funny, but there's part of me that's like, I don't think making fun of valid critiques is necessarily my favorite way of addressing valid critiques. But even that said...
But it's that thing, right, where the Muppets were saying it in the same way the trolls say it. There's valid critiques there for sure, but you know how people present their tweet, their comment, their thing that isn't actually constructive
I think that stuff still gets lumped together, right? Just because a troll is saying the same thing that I'm saying doesn't then make it funny for me. Like, I hear what you're saying.
There's a minimization there.
Yeah. But even all that said, right, I think to the masterpiece part of it, I think the reason why I view it as a 10 out of 10 is I think years from now, when I'm thinking about the best presentations or like the Game Awards that was the Game Awards, I think this was the Game Awards.
This feels like a turning point almost, right?
Yes.
Where now it is one of those things of, can we have these caliber of announcements every year? No, I don't think so. But I do think everyone can look at this and be like, oh, this is what this award show can do for our announcements. And
announcement-wise, I do think, I've been saying this on Games Daily recently, like getting these level of announcements makes it even more worth it for publishers and developers to understand what Jeff's doing here for next year and the year after of like, hey, maybe we don't save our thing for the PlayStation Showcase. We introduce Intergalactic here.
Unbelievable.
You know what I mean? Like that type of thing. Like that goes a long, long way. Where was Xbox? Where was Nintendo? They aren't here. Will they be next year in a bigger way? Possibly. You know, I feel like there was a moment that we all believed Half-Life 3 was about to be announced. That's the power of the show that we just watched. And instead they announced a sequel to Okami, dude. Game of the fucking year. What was it? 2006?
I don't know.
You know what I'm talking about though at IGN
I remember. And then of course they used the one with the watermark on it for their Wii version, which was the most hilarious box art of all time. I think also it's the fact of what we talked about the opposite way, you know. 2 years ago, 3 years ago, one of the ones where we reacted from your house where we weren't happy for SGF. And I was like, this SGF was off the mark, and I feel like might actually hurt the reputation of SGF, right? I think this Game Awards is so good that it actually helps that when you're what you're talking about with Nintendo and Xbox, we're like, fuck, we missed the boat here, and this doesn't line up for what we're doing. But when we get to SGF, what about putting something out there? Because again, Jeff's only going up here. Yeah, if you don't remember this,
thank you for this.
When Okami came to Wii, they used art of it that actually had the IGN watermark on it for their box art that shipped. The
more important IGN Okami story, though, Barrett, you're going to have to do some searching for this on YouTube, but look for Okami Game of the Year IGN, because we need to find the video of Nick Scarpino and Brendan and them singing Okami to the tune of Pony by Genuine.
Nice.
That happened.
They really let the video team do whatever they want.
He's been making great content his whole life.
His whole life, man. His whole life. All right.
If you're ever like, why is he like this now? He's like, oh, he's always been like this.
Lifetime Achievement Award.
Tim, I don't know if there's ever been a worse moment to look up Okami Game of the Year because now it's just all Game Awards shit.
Let's get into it, though. I want to go thing by thing they announced and talk about what we thought about it all. The pre-show, again, a banger. The last couple of years, we've had major announcements in the pre-show. I love that they renamed it Opening Act. I feel like that gives it a little bit more importance. And they started off Ninja Gaiden Rage Bound, and it looks awesome. I said in the predictions episode, I would love to get a Ninja Gaiden 4. This is the opposite of that. This is just a new Ninja Gaiden in old school style, and I want that even more. Like, I'm so stoked about this.
Yeah, if you're a Metroidvania fan who has not played Blasphemous or Blasphemous 2, 2 was an incredible video game. I think I had it like number 9 on my top 10 last year. And that just, it's so awesome seeing that pairing, knowing that whoever is working on this is going to give it the most respect and love possible. It's an incredible game, and what an awesome team up. What a great pair.
You had it at your number 8 last year.
Wow.
I think last year this space was where we got Dead Cells Castlevania.
Right.
So I love that. The Game Awards kind of has this like retro anime cutscene vibe, but then getting the gameplay here, like, hell yeah.
Very, very cool.
Really cool.
Yeah, if you notice are you on the doc?
Yeah.
I toss in the stuff I usually read off to you. I don't know if you care or you want me to go through, but I can do it for you if you want, as I usually do. Of course, a million press releases come in. Like you said, publisher.emu, of course, the developer, The Game Kitchen. A new hero, Kenji Mozu, emerges in Ninja Gaiden Ragebound. The story picks up in Hayabusa Village after Ryu Hayabusa heads to America to avenge his father's death, as told in the NES version of Ninja Gaiden. Suddenly, the veil between the human and the demon worlds has torn, opening a doorway to darkness in Hayabusa Village. Kenji, a young ninja of the Hayabusa clan, throws himself into battle, determined to protect the village and its people from a looming demonic threat in this dark and dangerous era.
Some of the best pixel art you'll ever see in your life.
I mean, dude, let's go. I'm so excited. This is
amazing.
Awesome.
Yeah, really, really cool. Not my traditional kind of game, but this style I love and I want to play this.
And you know it's going to be difficult. Blasphemous.
Yeah.
Every time I would say Blasphemous, people thought I was saying The Last of Us, but Blasphemous was a very, very challenging Metroidvania with really tough boss fights. It kicks so much ass.
You know what else was really challenging with great boss fights? Ninja Gaiden.
Oh, sure. Of
Right?
course. Yeah.
Like either the
I thought you were gonna throw
You
trilogy.
called for Ninja Gaiden in return. You thought more of the Xbox realm of it, right?
But
here you
both
go.
the NES trilogy and the Xbox games, like, yeah, like this is what it's all about. Very exciting.
And I think it's like a good meeting of all these different companies as far as like Koei Tecmo with the IP, the fact that they're willing to still use Ninja Gaiden in this way, Dotemu willing to be being the company we know for pairing good studios with IP that people want. Like I forget what their previous ones were. Was it TMNT or like they do stuff like that. I love that somewhere in there somebody had the idea of, oh yeah, we can bring back Ninja Gaiden. Like this is up to us. We can do this.
Very cool. Then we got One More Away. This
One
is
Move.
One Move Away. This is the VR packing game. Looks cool.
This one made me smile.
Yeah.
I like this. I'm definitely down to put on the VR headset and play this. You know, Moving Out was one of my favorite co-op games that we all played together. We brought up Unpacking. And yeah, any good excuse to turn on the headset and try something new and different in the VR world, I'm always down for.
Next up, we had Slay the Spire 2, Early Access 2025. Still kind of like a re-reveal here. I don't think any of us here have actually played this, but I know it's a very big hit.
I played Slay the Spire 1. It's one that I want to play more, though, right? Like, it's within the genre that, you know, I've been obsessed with recently, and I'm currently very obsessed with as far as card games and roguelites. This is one that I know means a lot to a lot of people as far as, like, games that people have been hooked on in the last 5 years. Yeah, super excited to get more from it. I think this is one that people are just ready for it to come out, though.
Going back to
one of those big blind spots for me. It's like, oh, I know I should have played this.
Everyone talks about this game and how much they love it, and it's been on PlayStation Plus and probably Game Pass. And I know it's always that thing. Oh, you should. I've just never gotten into it.
going back to One Move Away, the chat saying it's not VR.
Oh, then I won't play it. Damn.
Really? Why is that the reason you won't play?
I want to play it in VR.
Oh, no, sorry. I'm just like shocked that it's not VR. Not that you won't play it.
That's incredibly shocking that it's not VR. That's a huge miss for whoever's running
Those transparent arms.
PR marketing on that. You need more than just showing it, I guess, on that one.
Then Dave the Diver in the Jungle. A little DLC coming late 2025.
Is that DLC or full new?
It is DLC. There was another one that had very little detail on it. They have confirmed over on there that, yes, they're heading to the jungle. It is a get ready to join Dave in another wild adventure. Cool.
Anyone in?
Dave the Diver is another one. That's such a Greg game. And I forget what I was reviewing when it originally came out, and then eventually came to PlayStation and the Godzilla stuff, and I've just never, ever gotten back to it. I know how much Joey likes it. I know how much a million other people like it. I would love to get to it, but there's always something else I need to get to.
I had a good time with Dave the Diver. I put a decent amount of hours into it, but I think that ship has sailed for me.
I'm more shocked. I'm back onto the Steam page of One Move Away that this isn't a VR game. Why make it look like the most VR game of all VR games?
Yeah. Then we got Thick as Thieves from Warren Spector.
Yes.
Which, you know, obviously industry luminary.
We
when it
know him
comes
for
down
Epic
to all
Mickey,
this
though.
stuff.
Let's talk.
Of course, Epic Mickey rebrushed out now. Immersive multiplayer set in an alternate history metropolis where technology clashes with magic. Thick as Thieves immerses you in a complex, detailed world of glittering wealth, a thriving criminal underclass, and a touch of magic. I gotta be real. I hope some of you are more positive on this. Like, looking at this feels like Game Awards trailer 6 years ago.
I think that's why it's pre-show. You know what I mean? I think it's why that gives the right billing to it. As I said, watching it, right, I'm like, I've been burned by this game before, where this looks like something that I'd be super into, and you get to it's not all fleshed out, right? Even looking at it, it gives me the vibe. Like, I want to say it reminds me of Deathloop, which I did really enjoy, but it doesn't look as good as Deathloop. And then it reminds me, as they talk about it in the thing here, of something like Redfall, right? Which I was so stoked about the premise of, and then obviously the game wasn't great. Mike, you've actually seen a demo of this?
I saw a hands-off demo of this, got to sit down with the team over there to learn more about that. Yeah, this is a multiplayer immersive sim where you're on the big heist against every other team or every other person. Everybody's solo in this.
Okay.
And so you will find each other in the world, and it's first one to go grab the treasure and make it out wins, essentially. And so it will be very interesting to see. I don't know how well this will be received. I think for someone like me who's into these kind of multiplayer games, I will have a good time with this. playing it. I think once you have done it multiple times, it'll be hard to stay in that. But that's always these games, right? How much content can you put out? How do you stay in front of it and make it fun and unique and different? The premise is fun, right? 4 people dropping in. Here's the heist. Who gets there first? Who can get out of it? Who catches the other person? A little cat and mouse. I like that a lot.
As we went down the list of things announced, I bolded the things that stood out to me personally. And this next one was the second one after Ninja Gaiden that I bolded, Shadow Labyrinth. It's like Secret Level. It's Pac-Man, baby. Today, the Game Awards, Bandai Namco Entertainment America announced Shadow Labyrinth, a visionary-inspired new game set in a sci-fi universe that draws from the company's legendary arcade franchises. There's a plural there. I wonder why. Developed by Bandai Namco Studios, the core theme of the game features a thrilling and visceral new take on the company's most beloved icon, Pac-Man. The reveal of Shadow Labyrinth unravels the mystery of this new vision for the Pac-Man franchise, as seen in Secret Level, Prime Video's adult animated anthology series. I'm going to stop there. Have any of us seen the Pac-Man episode yet?
Yes.
And?
Do you want to know if it's good or?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's one of the episodes I like a lot. Yeah.
Okay.
And like this, I mean, this mirrors exactly what that looks like, right? Like, it's funny watching that episode before getting this trailer, and that episode just being out before getting this trailer, because you watch it and you're like, huh, very inspired take on Pac-Man. Like, it's dark. It is. There's a weird story here. Like, I don't want to spoil it for anybody that hasn't seen it. Makes a lot of sense that there was, I don't know if this is like the cart before the horse before the cart situation of what came first, this idea or the Secret Level episode. But if this was already in the works before they actually decided to work on that episode, this now makes a lot of sense as far as how you landed on that.
Yeah. Looking at this, I'm excited. It's a little weird. I'm such a big fan of like old iconic IP of video games and like putting them in a new place.
Yeah.
And I'm here for it. Like the Metroidvania style, like that looks cool. The Labyrinth Pac-Man, love that. I want more Pac-Man from it, though.
Really?
Like looking at this, like the shape of Pac-Man's there, but like everything else didn't seem to be. I haven't seen the episode
He was
yet.
eating the pellets.
But like just in that one little bit. Otherwise,
see, but that's what I love about it is that as somebody who hasn't seen Secret Level, the jump of it, like
Secret Level, little song.
Good Avatar reference.
Jeff, calls out that it's going to be a classic thing. We're like, what is it? You get there. Oh, this is what. And I love the fact that it wasn't called Pac-Man, right? Even the next paragraph, right? Shadow Labyrinth is a broad departure from any previous Pac-Man game, where players take on the role of another character as protagonist named Swordsman Number 8. In the game, following the events introduced in the Secret Level animated short, players awaken on an alien planet still ravaged by war and monsters. They quickly encounter Puck, a mysterious yet recognizable figure who teaches them that their aim in this treacherous world is to escape it, and to achieve that, they must consume everything. Like, I love the Puck-Man, the reference there, all the stuff of like, oh, I love taking... It's what people always say they want from Mega Man. Of like, give me a gritty Mega Man. Maybe it's just Colin, what he used to say. Give me a gritty Mega Man or a third-person Mega Man or all this stuff where it's like, I love the idea of taking something classic and putting references to it and things of it, but not making it just Pac-Man and Pellets and Ghosts and Clyde.
Yeah. I mean, I'm with you. I just want more of that, though.
Let's go. Let's play.
Let's see. Maybe they're there. Maybe that's the other stuff. But yeah, no. I'm here for this. Very excited. Anyone else care about it?
I didn't really vibe with the art style. It just didn't work for me. Something about the way the 2D looked. I don't know. Maybe I'll just need to check it out when it actually
That's kind of where I'm at, where it's like, I was seeing this doesn't make me immediately want to play it. I think it's interesting just based off of the episode, but like, even though I like the episode, I didn't come out of that being like, man, I want to play this.
Looking at it, I'm kind of mixed where I'm like, I want to play it because it seems cool, but I kind of want to wait for reviews. You know what I mean? Like, I want them to prove it to me that it's worth playing, because like, I'm with you that it didn't look like it had all this stuff, but it could be. I don't know. Then after that, we had Steel Paws, the mobile game from
mobile
Netflix. A little weird.
Nope, got nothing to say for it.
Then Andy, Tales of the Shire, March 25th, 2025.
Oh, the Shire.
Lemba spread.
Hey, Mr. Frodo.
Lemba spread.
Mr. Frodo, let me carry you.
I mean, it's like the 6th time we've seen it. I played it.
Because it got delayed forever.
Yeah, I don't know. I have very little to no enthusiasm for it.
Then Midnight Murder Club. Tonight during the Game Awards opening act, Velen Studios revealed its party game shooter Midnight Murder Club is launching in early access on PlayStation 5 and Steam in 2025, and a new crossplay demo is available on PlayStation and Steam from today through the 22nd.
Mikey,
I mean, this game's fantastic. I shouldn't have to tell y'all to go try this because it's that good. Turn on the voice chat, go get lost with your friends, have a ton of fun. These are those party multiplayer games where you can turn it on a Thursday, Friday night, and everyone will gather around, laugh, and have a ton of fun. This is that game.
Yeah.
And Velen Studios, once again, found another great way to make a good multiplayer game that will be cherished and loved, and maybe one day it falls off the face of the planet, but for the time being, you should be jumping in on playing this.
Gotta bring back Knockout City, though.
We had Kiora up next from the Core People team.
Core
This is
Keeper,
Terraria-like. Kiora is a 2D sandbox adventure for 1 to 8 players where every pixel can be shaped, mined, built, or destroyed.
This looks really fascinating.
Yeah, it looks like that cutesy, that game that's going to appeal to those people that I'm not one of, but I always respect and I wish I could be. I think it's got a good vibe to it. I like what I'm seeing of it, of cutting out, then the little tease at the end that it isn't all cozy or whatever. Okay.
Does this make it a Fields of Mystria type game, Andy? You know, does this take over like what you saw with this year with Fields of Mystria?
Well, I think a lot of what Fields of Mystria is also like the town and the relationship building, very similar to Stardew. This kind of just reminds me of it's a 2D like building survival type thing,
Or
which is
Minecraft.
very similar to what Core Keeper was. And Core Keeper, I think it came out like a couple years ago. I think it maybe hit 1.0 this year. I'm blanking on the exact details of it, but that's a very popular game with very high ratings, and people are very much enjoying Core Keeper. So it's cool that they're putting out something kind of similar in a similar vein, but you know, we'll see if it hits those same sort of marks that their prior game did.
Next up, Rematch from Slow Clap.
Give Blessing the floor for 20 minutes.
I mean, I don't know where to even start with this one. This is one that I'm fascinated by, mainly because of the swing that it is. Because, of course, we played Sifu. Sifu was special to us because it was such a good action game, right? It is stylish, it is swift, it has a good concept to it, all these things. For them to then go, all right, let's make a soccer game, I think it's fascinating because I think it's a risk to your audience, because I don't know how many people who love Sifu are going to look at a soccer game and go, oh, I want to play soccer or football, depending on where you're at, right? But I think it's a good swing as far as how many people do absolutely love the sport, especially outside of the United States, right? Like, it's exciting to me because I'm
It's a choice.
I mean,
it's a very fascinating choice to make this move as that team, like you said, Bless, because soccer all over the world, everybody loves it, right? But now you start to step into the world of FIFA, who is trying to make their own 5v5 mode be something like this, where it's jump in and have fun with your friends. You go up against a Rocket League that's already established of, my friends and I play this. It's going to go off the word of, hey, we know Sifu, and I'm into that, and I like soccer.
Yes.
Can this be that game for more than just a month or two?
And yeah, can it be that game for more than just a month or two, I think is the big question. And it's funny because they're coming off of also Absolver, the game that was before Sifu, that was an online connected multiplayer type of game. And that game came and went. And Sifu, being a single player thing, I think brought it back for them to then go back to, I think, the online well. Again, very fascinating. The thing that gets me excited about this, though, is how much of it looks like Rocket League. It's funny because Rocket League is just soccer with cars, right? But in a way, this feels like Rocket League and FIFA, like somewhere in the middle of it, which I think can work for it.
But I think on top of that, though, we have that slow clap style. Like, look at the backgrounds. Look at what they have going on.
Yes.
Man. Like, this is what I loved so much about Sifu. Every single level, there was the challenge and the fun, but then there was a twist. You're in a club, and then all of a sudden you're in a different environment. You're in a museum. You're somewhere else. Like, they know how to make something feel like, oh, you don't know what's coming next, and whatever they throw at you, you're like, I've never seen this before. I can't believe it. Like, I'm not a multiplayer guy, definitely not a sports guy, definitely not a soccer guy.
Yeah.
I want to give this a shot. They've earned that from Sifu.
And how do you do that with soccer, though? That's
I'm a little
the worry.
concerned.
Yeah.
I am a little
How do you do that with gameplay? The look is great. Yeah, that's the style. But, like, with soccer now, are we getting into power-ups? Are we going into an RPG route where it takes Bless hundreds of hours to level up? And Mike over here already gave them $30 and he's super leveled up, right? Like, what is this going to be?
If they're smart, they're going to go full Rocket League. It's not going to be about upgrading your character or anything like that. It's going to be about cosmetics. If they're good about it, they're going to get those partnerships. They're going to get the skins. They're hopefully going to partner with real life football teams, right? Like, that is the thing you have to do. Mechanically, I think this has so much potential. One, for the fact that Sifu knows how to make a game that feels good. They know how to make a really good action game. And when it comes down to it, you got to just fit as that studio, you have to make pressing the buttons feel right. And they've proved that they know how to do that. And even watching this, I'm like, this looks like it feels right. The one other thing I want to shout out as well, of course, me and Mike have been playing soccer for the last year, right? We have our own soccer leagues that we attend.
You win a lot too.
We win so much.
A lot. It's a big deal to us.
Rocket League, in a lot of ways, almost feels more genuine to playing soccer than FIFA does, right? I think there's something to be said about being a single individual, a single force on the ground floor and having to coordinate, look left and right, make sure that, you know, you're passing the ball to this person that's open and all that stuff, that you get a bit more, in a way, I guess, mechanically or physically from Rocket League than you can do from FIFA, because it's just a different kind of feel.
I've never felt interested in any soccer game. This is the first time I've been this interested, and it is because of this third person behind the camera. I am this one person. I'm so much more interested in this take on it, and again, it is just Rocket League with people. It controls and looks a lot more like that. Especially, we saw a little shot of the woman kicking it and it bounced off the wall to her teammate.
Yeah.
Those moments, I feel like, to dumb it down for me, the person who generally doesn't care about soccer until it's like the World Cup, and that's about all I'll watch. This is so much more fascinating and interesting to me, and it kind of reminds me of Supergiant putting out Bastion, and here's Pyre, this kind of random sports game. It's like, whoa, that's kind of out of left field. And for me, what I'm reading here is this seems to me like the thing to maybe build in the background while the next thing is being made on, or being created.
Yeah.
You know?
We all love soccer. We wanted to do something fun and make something that isn't FIFA, right?
And the thing I also want to acknowledge for Shaq, because people were like, pro clubs exist, yada yada.
Pro clubs very good.
Pro clubs very good.
And
also,
the 5v5 mode, very good.
And I
That's
play
exactly
FIFA.
what this is.
The thing that I do want to shout out about Rocket League in particular, and I think what this can emulate, is that there is a physics aspect to soccer that is not captured as much in FIFA, because the FIFA is like, it's just a different kind of thing, right? It is soccer, but there is something about Rocket League and the way that you like make contact with the ball that feels so similar to real life soccer that it emulates so well. And I think there's something special about that this game has the potential to go after.
Let me bring in, because I read some of the stuff there, their manifesto, right, that opened their press release earlier from Slow Clap. I'm not going
manifesto.
This is a good one, though. With Rematch, we're trying to capture the essence of football and condense it in short, fast-paced 5v5 matches, right? Then there's these two graphs from the actual press release that I think stand out. Rematch is set to launch on Series, Xbox, PlayStation 5, PC next year. Set in vibrant virtual reality arenas, the gameplay flows with no fouls and no offsides, and the action never stops. Players control only one player on the team in an immersive third-person perspective, swapping roles as situation evolves, from striker to defender, down to a uniquely designed goalkeeper position featuring specific abilities. Each match is an intense showdown in which players need both split-second reactions and tactical team play to prevail. Again, so Rocket League. Built entirely for online play, Rematch emphasizes precise and reactive gameplay balanced for a fair competitive experience. I don't think you're going to see pay to win in there. Players can expect a level playing field where skill is the deciding factor, from mastering the aim and shoot mechanics to timing a powerful volley kick, all the way to reading the game dynamics and making the perfect pass.
I mean, damn, right? Yeah. Like that's where it's at. Like I saw Matthew in chat saying Rematch is a lame name. I entirely disagree. I feel like I would agree in many cases, but this team making this game and it's soccer, I feel like they got it.
The inspiration of what they're talking here. Let's do 5v5. Let's make it fast. Let's make it fluid. You're never stopping, so you lose. And what do you want to do? Like you guys playing Marvel Rivals. Let's roll it again. Run it again.
That's what it's all about. Bless, I want to bring it back to you because obviously a lot of us here loved Sifu, but you played Absolver, right? Like
I played a little bit of Absolver, yeah.
So looking back to that, do you think that there's anything moving to this soccer game that you feel like they can take?
I don't know if there is. That's the thing is, I think Absolver is more so of an indication that there's something in that studio that makes them want to do a multiplayer online thing, right? Like that is something that they want to chase after, and I think this is just another attempt for them at it. And maybe it is the thing of, hey, this is going to hold us down until the next game. Or I think looking at this game, I think there's a genuine passion for it, and if that's the case, make something special. I don't know if there's anything specifically I can look at it at Absolver, because I don't think Absolver worked that well, and it came together with Sifu. But
one of the things I think is interesting to look at their record and how they supported Sifu after launch, this final paragraph, right? In addition to its competitive 5v5 game mode, the title will offer quick play game modes. quick play game modes, along with fresh seasonal content planned post-launch, including new game modes and unique cosmetic options that allow each player to customize their character with style. Rematch is expected to be rated E for everybody, with more features planned post-launch. Details to come in 2025.
Great.
I'm excited.
Yeah. Then we got Celesta 2. Celesta?
Yeah, I don't think my spelling's right
This
on
is
that.
that Baldur's Gate sort of looking
Yep,
game.
100%. Yeah.
This comes early access 2025. Demos coming soon. Complete party management and customization. Create and develop your own party of 4 adventurers, all fully voiced and each fully customizable with unique skills and abilities.
So last 2, we had it right. Sorry.
Yeah. This do anything for you? I called out Andy while it was happening because I feel like he might have been the most into it of us.
Yeah, it looks fascinating enough. I think it's kind of borrowing that sort of how can we implement D&D into video game form, and we'll see if they do a good job of it. But yeah, I think, was it Greg who said that it had something to do with D&D?
Yeah, it's the D&D rules or whatever from, what was it, Mike? 4th edition?
The fifth edition.
I got caught on the 4th.
Yeah.
The 5th now. Yeah.
Still
Very
not
exciting.
done with the 5th one. Yeah.
Yeah, with our first game, we started as Kickstarter. They say building on SRD 5.1 rule set. That was the first one, though. Players will roll the dice with a D20 system, create their party, and embark on a quest filled with strategy, magic, and intrigue. With Solasta 2, Tactical Adventures aims to deliver a truly immersive experience featuring deep tactical combat and a wealth of exciting features.
Yeah, after Baldur's Gate 3, I don't think I would have wanted to try this, but because of Baldur's Gate 3, I will definitely be giving this a shot, yeah.
And that was it for the pre-show.
Great pre-show.
Amazing.
Great job, Sid, too.
Yep.
I think one of the things we haven't called out so far in our rating, the writing, I thought was really stepped up this year. Like it's no secret that the award shows are written, the jokes are written. And I do remember, I think it was last year's pre-show for sure, Sydney making some jokes and us going, ooh, like, you know what I mean? Like
You're
that.
in the room too, though, which I do. Or you were in the room, not anymore.
Yeah.
Which I do feel reads different. Like I don't know that this is like necessarily a step up from where it's
Fair
been.
enough, then I'll stay down. I thought the show overall, even the Muppet stuff was better written.
I like the writing. Yeah, so I'm on that side too.
Well, you just talk shit about it. So
Well, no. I'm just big up in how
you got a
before
problem
it
because
wasn't
let me
that
tell you,
bad.
I'm over the bread belly.
It wasn't bad
Your
before.
fucking
Okay,
throat.
that's all I'm saying. It is what it
Let's
is.
get dessert.
Can we go play Helldivers? Where's more bread?
Yeah, Mr. Showtime says Kyle Bossman is a writer on TGAs each year. By the way, yeah, I think it's.
I know. I'm aware. I just think that this
Greg, how
year
dare
was
you?
up. What?
How dare you? I'm just taking Tim's side.
I think they stepped it up this year.
Yeah. Well, we are going to get right back here talking about everything they actually talked about in the main show. But before we do that, here is a word from our sponsors. Clearly, it's a great time to be a gamer, and our friends at NVIDIA GeForce are keeping the party going through the rest of the year. Right now, you can follow NVIDIA GeForce's social channels to take part in their GeForce Great Celebration, where they're looking back at the last 25 years of gaming and giving away a slew of prizes over the next few weeks. This all leads right up to the NVIDIA keynote address at this year's Consumer Electronics Show in Las Vegas on January 6th. Where we expect to hear a lot more about NVIDIA's plans for the future of gaming. As part of this, NVIDIA is also bringing back their legendary GeForce LAN party in January. You can join the 50-hour-long gaming marathon starting January 4th, either online or in person in Las Vegas, Berlin, Taipei, or Beijing. You'll be able to play online and compete for additional prizes as they count down to the keynote announcement. Again, head over to NVIDIA GeForce's social channels to learn more, and of course, we'll continue to keep you covered right here on Kinda Funny. Still Wakes the Deep is a first-person narrative horror game from the genre masters at the Chinese Room. Featuring an all-star cast of Scottish actors, it combines grounded storytelling with unknowable horror for a truly unique and terrifying adventure. Set at Christmas 1975, you play as Kaz McCleary, a family man running from the police by taking a job on the Baradi oil rig. But the holiday cheer turns to festive fear as something incomprehensible comes aboard and starts wiping out everything in its path. With your escape routes cut off and no way to contact the mainland, your only hope is to run and hide as you make your way across the collapsing rig. Navigate pitch-black corridors, crawl through tight underwater spaces, and try not to make a sound during tense stealth sections. Whatever you are afraid of, Still Wakes the Deep has something that will freak you out. To celebrate the festive season, Still Wakes the Deep is currently 35% off on Xbox Series X and S and PlayStation 5. Buy today and add some horror to your holidays. This episode's brought to you by Aura Frames. Isn't it funny how the people we love most are often the hardest to shop for? Luckily, there's one gift that everyone on your list is sure to enjoy, an Aura digital picture frame. Aura frames make it incredibly easy to share unlimited photos and videos directly from your phone to the frame. And when you give an Aura frame as a gift, you can personalize and preload it with a thoughtful message and photos using the Aura app, making it an ideal present for long-distance loved ones. Greg, Kevin, and a ton of people at Kinda Funny are obsessed with their Aura frames. It takes about 2 minutes to set up a frame using the Aura app. That means you'll be able to easily add all the photos of the new memories that you will create this holiday season. Save on the perfect gift by visiting auraframes.com to get $35 off Aura's best-selling Carver matte frames by using promo code KindaFunny at checkout. That's AURA frames.com, promo code KindaFunny. This deal is exclusive to listeners, so get yours now in time for the holidays. Terms and conditions apply. auraframes.com, promo code KindaFunny. And we're at the main show.
I got a cramp, Tim. I got a cramp.
Christ.
Oh, shit.
Uh-oh.
I felt it. I felt it. Yeah, it's all the
some
bread.
water.
It's all the bread.
Yeah. He's panicking.
Thank you.
Greg's
Oh,
getting more
man.
bread.
No, I don't.
No. Starting off with The Witcher 4.
I can't fall right back into the trap. It's like
The
Homer in
Witcher
the sandwich
4,
you can't
y'all.
throw away.
Time for a new saga. We're kicking off a brand new Witcher saga, this time with Ciri. Ciri?
Yep.
Ciri as the heart of the story. It feels so good to finally be able to say those words. For the longest time, we knew we wanted Ciri to be the protagonist of Witcher 4. It just felt natural to us, and we believe that Ciri deserves it. In this game, we want to explore what it means to truly become a Witcher by following Ciri on her path. This trailer is a taste of both that and how dark and grounded the world of Witcher can be. IGN's Simon Cardy says it's this passion that will differentiate Ciri from Geralt?
Yeah, Geralt.
Geralt, and subsequently The Witcher 4 from its predecessors. We want to let players try to define her, says Kalemba.
This is the game director, yeah.
Yep. Unlike Geralt.
Geralt.
I fucking hate this guy. Every
why is
single
Tim
time,
reading this?
literally every time I'm on Gamescast and I have to read this guy's name, I'm just like, oh man.
Tim, I'm with you. That's why I haven't played
hate-
Witcher 3.
I hate
Like,
this
I just,
shit.
like, I don't
Dude,
know.
Big G,
Yeah.
who's been a veteran monster hunter for the entire Witcher saga. Ciri's only just starting her version of her. She's about to form her own codex on her own terms. The way she actually deals with the monsters, the way she deals with quests, the adventures, it's her own unique way.
That's super exciting. As a fan of The Witcher, but somebody who fell off, I'm more excited to be like, hey, I am a young Witcher, kind of, almost the Cal Kestis vibe, right? Of like, I'm figuring this out and doing this my way. I'm not, having to adhere to everything that's come before it.
Do it my way.
My way or the highway. Someday
Man, what a
you'll
fucking
see
song, dude.
things
It's also gonna be awesome
my
just to play a new Witcher, right? Like,
Oh, yeah.
dude, playing Witcher 3 9 years ago in 2015 when it came out
Yeah.
versus trying to play it when they re-released it, right? Like, maybe a year ago or 2 years ago? I remember picking up the latest version of The Witcher 3 and being like, wow, I can't believe that this game feels old. Like, I
Yeah.
did not realize
Yeah.
that this game could age. And so to have a modern Witcher game coming out and hopefully the next 3, 4, 5, 10 years.
I mean, he even like led this off saying like, this is not 2025, like 2026.
I think he
like,
talked
past
about
that,
like
the future.
He
This
talked
is
about
a
the next
unicorn.
decade of gaming,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. But I mean, my God, we had this. This is crazy.
I'm gonna throw a date on there right now.
Do it.
2029.
Yeah, that sounds right.
I think we're way sooner than that.
Yeah, we talked
Way
about it on
sooner.
Games
Way
Daily. They're
sooner.
starting the saga, and it's going to be 3, right?
Yeah.
And so we kind of plotted that out,
Well,
you and I.
they
I
said
think
they
that
wanted
is
to be
sooner.
like 10 years for the saga, but they also said they just started full production, I'm pretty sure,
Full production. Yeah.
Yeah.
on a video game.
Meaning like the Cyberpunk team is now working on this, where they already had teams working on Polaris prior,
Yeah.
But I'm kind of with Blessy, where it feels like now that they're at full power, that still seems like we're 5 years away.
Yeah, that's the thing is you
Yeah.
told me you're starting full production. I'm like, okay, cool. I'll see you in 4 years.
Yeah.
We're going to learn. It's going to be
This
exciting.
looked amazing. I mean,
What a way to start off the show.
Unreal Engine
Wow.
5 working on an unannounced NVIDIA
NVIDIA, let's
RTX
go.
GeForce card, the 50 series most likely. Very, very exciting, super cool looking. As somebody who has no touchstone to the Witcher franchise, this looked amazing in every way. I am so excited for all the Witcher fans who are like just jazzed to get back to this world.
All right. So we had Witcher 4, and everyone's like, oh my God. That's that, fantasy RPG. What else could they do? Elden Ring Nightreign.
What the fuck was this?
Andy,
Tim?
take me away.
I swear there have been so many Dark Souls mods that are like night fucking something. Like there's just a bunch of like mods that'll expand what the Dark Souls games are and give you like new places to play and new classes. And this feels like some fan fiction type shit. This doesn't feel like a real thing, but it makes perfect sense when we heard Miyazaki mentioning, multiplayer is something we would like to do in the future. Of course, I'm aware of the seamless Elden Ring mod that is out there. It's very popular. We're aware of that. And this seems like a great opportunity for Bandai Namco to say, hey, look, trust us. We would love for y'all to play multiplayer in Elden Ring way easier than you all currently do. And, unfortunately, you all have to go to mods to make it a more, player-friendly sort of experience because Souls games have never really been about multiplayer. You can do it, but there's all these crazy limitations, and it's always a bunch of hoops you need to jump through. The fact that this game is just being built from the ground up as a multiplayer survival game. They're calling it action survival. Which the survival part I'm very fascinated about. Are we talking, craft? Mike, you might have to craft and eat a piece of meat because you never did that during the main game when they're so important to do.
Would you like to know more about it?
I would love to know more.
Of course, co-op, as we've talked about everything, but the press release eventually gets into some details that go like this. Players take on the night together in an all-new experience from the team it's from Software. Elden Ring Nightreign will be a multiplayer-focused return to round-table hold set in a universe parallel to the events of Elden Ring. Players must choose from 8 unique characters, each with their own unique abilities and powerful ultimates. Very Ghost of Tsushima, right? Their journeys take them to Limveld, an ever-changing map, where they will have to make split-second decisions when it comes to combat and exploration in the face... What are you looking for, Limneld?
A roguelite?
This reminds me of that game that
that what you
Andy
wanted?
really likes.
Limfeld.
Yeah, Limfeld. When it comes to combat and exploration, face of a night cycle that shrinks the map with the coming of Night's Tide.
What the
At the end of each night, players will face a powerful boss and, if victorious, awaken to bigger challenges. Each session will culminate in the third night when they must face off against the chosen Night Lord. Individuals can fight the night alone, but strength will come in numbers. Nightfarers must learn to cooperate to take down these challenges, combining their unique abilities together for an unparalleled experience in the Elden Ring universe. All is not lost for those who fall in defeat. Unsuccessful runs will grant players relics to allow them to customize and upgrade their characters tailored to their personal play styles. One more paragraph. Elden Ring Nightreign is unlike any experience created before by From Software Inc. In this condensed action RPG, players will never experience the same journey twice, as enemies, rewards, and Limveld itself are ever shifting and evolving each session. Defeating greater enemies and venturing into the more dangerous parts of the map will uncover more powerful weapons and greater rune rewards. Find sites of grace to give each hero a chance to level up and gain crucial power.
Wow.
With each session-based adventure being akin to playing through an open-air dungeon, every journey provides an opportunity to grow lasting stat bonuses. Successful runs against the Night bring players ever closer to defeating the Night Lord and unraveling the story behind each Night Fair in this parallel world.
This is crazy because, it sounds like Kind of Funny's dream game, right?
They used every word to avoid saying roguelite, but I don't mind it because, that is just they just described an Elden Ring roguelite co-op.
The cynical part of me is
Nick
like,
here,
this is
all
such
right?
a cash grab. But it's
The other party is like, I don't care.
Giving you guys
no, but this is what I want.
you
But the games are also just so fun to play. It does feel like, and again, cynical Andy's on this part of the shoulder going, they're making this so cheap. They're cheapening the magic of what it is.
Okay,
they are, it's going to be a bastardization of what those experiences are narratively and how amazing those are. But the other side of me is but I get to fucking level up and I get and I do a cool parry while, fucking Mike is taking photos of me and I'm like, stop, fight the guy, quit fucking taking photos.
This is basically what I went through when they announced the Last of Us Part 2 remaster and they put a roguelite mode in that, where I'm like, isn't this whole game about the cycle of violence? And you're putting me in a mode where I just kill people?
Where you do a cycle of violence.
A literal cycle of violence. This sounds fucking awesome though.
It sounds very, very.
This is exactly what I want.
A lot of fun.
You're gonna have some great streams with
It's
this.
amazing because we talked
Just like I
about
will
the
Helldivers.
DLC and where they stood and what their next project was. I cannot believe we saw this
Me
here.
neither.
that we were right around the corner. That's wild.
Yeah.
Metal Gear Survive as well. I was trying to think of when you first started that description. I was like, this sounds like something I know because you talked about you talked about parallel universe and all this shit. I was like, this sounds familiar. Hopefully, it's better.
Next up, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth coming to PC January 23rd, 2025. Love to
Close
see
to your
it.
prediction, right?
Yeah, I mean, I was off. I was saying this year. I knew I was being bullish about that, but I was doing that on purpose. I just wanted them to break the year exclusivity that we expected because I want the game to come to Xbox. And to me, this is a major win. Rebirth getting in more players' hands, awesome. But I do think that this is a good sign towards what the future of Final Fantasy core games, and I include the 7 trilogy in that, what it might mean for multi-platform and for more people being able to play some amazing video games. And this is great. Like, Andy, I know you're already having your Mako freak out and all that, so you're probably not going to jump back in just because it's PC, but you're also the PC guy, and I know you jump back into 16 because of this.
Oh, of course. Yeah, I mean, this is definitely something I'm 100% going to boot up.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool.
I would kill for, maybe we delay the Mako freak. No, we won't delay it anymore, then it's already gone. But, this is something that I would love if it's somehow tied to PlayStation and like had the cross saves and realize where you were. I would kill for that. Be able to load up a save in Chapter 7 and not have to restart. But either way, it'll be awesome to boot up that game and kind of see it running at its full power, at its full potential. Because on PS5 Pro, it's still super impressive, but there's a lot of pop in here and there, and things aren't as perfect as they can be.
Yeah. Next up, we had the indie trailer that Kind of Funny was quoted in.
Tim Geddes was quoted in.
No big deal. Pretty damn.
Very cool.
And then Catly. It's a mobile trailer thing. A lot of cats doing stuff. A little weird, Game Awards, baby.
Yeah.
We're here. It's a Keeley thing. Someone got paid.
It's a Keeley thing.
Then we got the untitled Project Robot. Epic Publishing, Ueda made. Gen design is led by visionary game director Fumito Ueda and composed of a team of veteran game developers from Ico, Shadow of the Colossus, and The Last Guardian. The Tokyo-based studio led all creative efforts under Gen Design for their most recent release, The Last Guardian. Published by Epic Games, Gen Design's upcoming title will be available on the Epic Game Store as well as PlayStation and Xbox consoles for the first time. Bless.
I just don't know what to say. I'm speechless. Like, I legitimately don't know what to say about this. This has been a kind of just like a logo for me for a long time, because I remember when they announced the Gen Design, Ueda's new studio, and I remember like seeing the Gen Design cross Epic thing, and that was years ago. So I knew this game was going to be announced someday. It's crazy that it's happening today, and like we're getting footage of it, and it looks like this. If you haven't played the Shadow Colossus Eco trilogy, please play it. It's, for me, probably my favorite quote-unquote video game trilogy of all time. Like, these are special games from a few eras ago, and like they're art. Like, this is for me the thing that made me go, oh, video games are art. Playing Eco, playing Shadow Colossus. This one looks cool. I love how different it looks. I love how weird it looks, but it also does look
How similar.
Yeah,
right?
it looks very Team Eco, right? You are a small, fragile being. You're on top of a fucking gigantic mech, which is fucking awesome. And I don't know what's going on here, right? You're taking off on its head. And so no idea what to make of this as far as what the gameplay is going to be, what it's going to be like. But so far, I'm lacking the vibes.
It's one of those where I've never connected with a Ueda game. I've tried. They just don't work for me or whatever. And this trailer is so fucking hype. Like, you know what I mean? This trailer is so fucking good. And just the countdown and the wave coming and climbing up the robot into the... Like, I can't wait to see more.
I mean, looking back at, giving this Game Awards a 10 out of 10, 4 out of 5 of us did. One of us gave it a 9.5. I think this easily makes it the best Game Awards of all time, right?
Yeah.
And thinking back on the best showcases, we think to PlayStation's 2015 E3, where we got Shenmue 3, we got Final Fantasy VII Remake, and we got The Last Guardian, making its re-reveal. Holy shit, it's actually happening. I can't believe we got this here. Like, this is such a big deal and such a big win. And sure, it might not mean as much as it did then, but in some ways it means more now. I feel like this is like very, very cool. The way that they did this treatment here of like showing off from the creator of these 3 classic freaking games. And like, sure, I think that Shadow of the Colossus is probably the one kind of all of us think that it's a classic, whereas like Eco's a bit more like, oh, it was artsy if you were there and cared for it, and Last Guardian wasn't for everybody. Like, all 3 games are amazing in some way, and they're amazing for art for sure. So seeing this, I'm like, oh, this is more than I could have expected for a Epic Games published Ueda game.
Sure,
So I'm
sure.
here for it.
And what a gift for Epic also.
Oh yeah, for sure. And also not tied to PlayStation. I think that's a big win too.
Yeah.
These games deserve an audience. So hell yeah. Next up, we have The Outer Worlds 2. 2025, Obsidian.
What a showcase.
Coming to Xbox, PC, PS5 as well. Outer Worlds 2 promises a fresh adventure in Arcadia, a brand new colony to explore, and the home of skip drive technology. As an Earth Directorate agent, you must uncover the source of devastating rifts threatening the entire galaxy. Obsidian, as always, offers plenty of options for how you build and play your character, engaging with your crew of companions and shape your narrative.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
Of course, Obsidian killing it. I think they're the MVPs at Xbox this generation for sure. Is
But
it
are they S tier? No, I'm kidding.
is it a mistake putting this out the same year as Avowed? Is that
Do you
too
not
much?
think this gets pushed into 2026?
Oh, I think there's a possibility.
You know what I mean? I just feel like it's just the game that goes into, the early Q1 of 2026.
I mean, I'd be down
Easily
for that.
could. I think, but let's not look past the fact that Avowed got pushed, right? And it wasn't, according to everybody, pushed because it needed it. It was more, let's give it some
Make some
space.
space.
Let's get some space.
Yeah.
So hopefully, while they've been bug fixing and polishing that, you could also work in this go. Let's say it doesn't get delayed. Every game could get delayed, obviously, right? I don't think that it's a mistake to do this because I feel like both Avowed and what I'm assuming Outer Worlds 2 is they joked about it being at least twice as big as the first one, right? But Outer Worlds 1 was a smaller RPG, right? They wanted you to play it multiple times if you wanted to. I remember when I beat it being like, oh, I'm done? That's super surprising. I think for me personally, I'm so excited, so hyped for Avowed right now that my hope would be it delivers. I have a great time with Avowed, and I'm not really the replaying the game guy, so I'm still hungry come November, September, December. Maybe they do an indie move where I'm like, I really could go for another Western RPG in that vein. Oh, here we go, great, and I jump back into this, and it improves what I didn't love about Outer Worlds.
I just hope they don't cannibalize themselves on for award season, because I could see the thing where you then get to outlets figuring out best RPG or best or like whatever the category might be.
But maybe that's how they win. They stuff the ballot box. Just get as many Obsidian RPGs in as you can.
It makes me feel the way I felt this year of Persona 3 Reload and Metaphor ReFantazio coming out, where as I'm playing Persona 3 Reload, I think I am kind of gearing up for, man, I should maybe save my energy for Metaphor ReFantazio because I know that's another one of these that I'm going to want to put my all into. I'm somebody who I'm looking forward to Avowed ever since the preview, but I am looking more forward to Outer Worlds 2 because I love Outer Worlds 1, but then also that's my setting. That's my kind of game, right? And so like this makes me look at Avowed and I'm like, all right, yeah, Avowed's still cool, but I want that Outer Worlds 2, man. I just want to play
but
that.
that's a great
Great
place to be.
RPGs is great. Yeah,
that's a great place
You also
to
have
be.
Fable in the mix here too. You got a lot of these games coming out from this team.
Fable ain't coming out next
Yeah,
year.
it's exciting stuff. I love that Obsidian continues to be the workhorse. They got two great games, and even if they both land in the same year, that's awesome, amazing.
I want to call you out. Fable, not next year.
I'm just talking my shit, but I mean, like, I could easily see that not coming out next year.
Yeah.
I just feel like even though we've seen stuff, we haven't seen a lot, right? Like, we're still waiting. I mean, I know you're gonna say we saw gameplay when you were in the Giants' house or whatever. I'm still waiting for a gameplay reveal. I'm still waiting for a HUD on screen. I'm still waiting for what it feels like when somebody's actually driving the game, like, and we're seeing that kind of footage, and we haven't seen that, which to me says we're still a ways out.
I want to give a shout out. Great trailer for Outer Wilds 2. They did a good job of like
that
Worlds.
Obsidian humor.
Sorry, yeah, I keep fucking that up. Outer Worlds 2.
I almost made that joke on the show of like, well, now that means Outer Wilds has got to get announced. This is one too, right? Make it as confusing as possible.
Next up, my God, this show, Split Fiction. We fuck shit up without fucking shit up, Joseph Ferris says. Sci-fi fantasy Split Fiction releases on March 6th, 2025 on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series, and PC via Steam, Epic Game Store, and EA app for $50. Mike and Andy got to play it. Talk about it.
It kicked so much ass. I was just wowed in so many different moments. He kept on kind of jumping through several spots to have us play. Me and Mike getting a lot of compliments on our gameplay. You know, there's a lot of, Joseph Harris looked at us and said, wow, usually outlets only send one person. I usually play with them, but I guess you all can do it. And of course, we were up to the task. This game, like, again, we walked out of there and we're like, this motherfucker doesn't miss, dude. Like, he was... and I think back to whatever Game Awards it was when he first showed off It Takes Two, and he said, this is one of the best fucking things you'll ever see. I know that sounds cocky, and he said the same thing here, and he was right. It Takes Two was incredible in a lot of different ways. And he said that same thing here, and when we played this game, I was expecting, like, how are you going to one-up yourself? And having these two different worlds, the fantasy with the sci-fi, the different mechanics happening in each level that we got to play. Again, it's
every level had something new.
If you didn't play It Takes Two, every level had a different mechanic, very similar to Astrobot in a way, but they're doing two of that. And, he kept on kind of like, now, look, it's hard to render two things at the same time. The tech is like really, really hard to do this. And, the normal person won't even think twice about that, but it's like a lot of work to get this shit running on two screens, like we all know from It Takes Two, but then how every level has this new unique thing that each character is doing, and Mike is helping me unlock this door, and then suddenly I'm in the sci-fi world, and Mike needs to open a little gate because he's over there, and I look up, and there's pink on the ceiling, like some pink sort of lights, and I zip up there, and my gravity changes, and now I'm on the ceiling looking down at Mike, who's on the floor where I just was, and we're doing some sort of co-op thing, lots of timing, lots of awesome platforming. So much fucking fun, Mike.
Voice acting was really great.
Amazing.
The story, I think, is going to hit home about friendship coming together. I think it's going to be really fun. Two different worlds, it's going to be dope.
This is, I know, first blush preview, let alone reveal from what you guys got to play and see. I was just wondering, if there was a presentation?
No.
Did they talk? The one thing for me personally, and I felt what I heard from the scuttlebutt, right, was that It Takes Two was great, just a little too long. What?
Sorry, you just remind me how long It Takes Two.
Remember you and me playing at my house, and we were just like,
yeah,
all right, we're stopping, and we never came back.
Oh yeah.
Like, did they talk at all about that in terms of anything? Not how long the game is, but if they learned that, if they're taking that lesson away.
No, I don't. I mean, I don't think I felt that way about It Takes. Fair. I didn't know that was none of that was really mentioned. They just talked about how, at their studio, it's like, he kept on going like, everybody's fucking crazy. We're crazy. Like, when you get hired, I let you know you're going to go crazy because you could just throw anything at the wall, and we are going to...
My two baby daughters are your boss.
We will try to implement it in some way. Like, it's such a creative space where everybody is always throwing wild shit, and even if it's too wild, it may not be, because we may be able to implement whatever mechanic or feature. And again, him talking about, now you're hacking, slashing, and you're shooting that thing, and a fighting game is supposed to feel a certain way, and you're expecting it to feel super responsive, and you're expecting a fighting game to feel that way because that's the whole 20-hour journey. Mm-hmm. But here, it's this one section, but we still worked our asses off to make sure that it felt amazing in this, 20, 30-minute segment or whatever. The movement felt so great, Mike. It felt so tight to maneuver.
Good, Andy. Yeah, it all was great. And then, of course, don't forget to highlight the friend pass, right? What this team has done, and EA supporting them, the idea of just blessing buying the game and then sharing that friend pass with me to be able to play with him is crazy. Nobody's doing that. No microtransactions, no BS. It's just the game. Go play it, have fun. This guy does not miss, like Andy said.
And I do... some secret stuff was showed to us that we definitely cannot talk about, and that shit was even more mind-blowing.
He's not watching.
That shit was even more mind-blowing. Like, they were like, we're showing you all this, you could talk about all this, do not say what you witnessed in the final moments. So I just want to give you a glimpse of how much more we ratchet up, like, the sort of tech and stuff we're doing.
You loved It Takes Two. It won Game of the Year a couple years ago at Game Awards. You played this. Do you think that this is better, potentially, than It Takes Two?
Oh, the hell, I don't know. I think it's like, if anything, equal, and that's cool. Saying that, like, again, I was expecting to find a flaw. I'm waiting, like, all right, surely you can't make a game that's better than It Takes Two, and we're gonna have a drop off somewhere, and I just didn't see it, man.
What was the name of the book?
It was awesome.
With the Uncle Book.
Goosebumps.
He was the one.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like that was like the
Book
one.
of Love.
The Book of Love, but
Dr. Hakim.
Yeah.
Dr. Hakim. How can I forget? Was there any? Because I remember
titular character, Dr. Hakim.
I remember that being one where the person I was playing with, we were both like, "Oh, interesting."
Kind of annoying at some point.
Yeah, kind of annoying.
Yeah, kind of weird.
Was there anything like that? Was there any like character where you're like, people aren't gonna like this character? Or
no, it was just two characters that don't know each other, that work for this like writing firm, and again, they get tossed into the video game, and suddenly One's a sci-fi writer, one's a fantasy writer, and you are kind of jumping into each other's worlds. And it's, at first they're going to be very butting heads because they're both going for this publishing job. And then, eventually as the journey keeps on going, they become friends and, start to gel a lot better. But no, nothing like that. Nothing. There wasn't like a third voice or NPC that was guiding you. It was just these two characters kind of like, well, now what? And some of the set piece stuff was wild. Like we were audibly like, holy shit, in so many moments. It was a lot of fun.
Me and you were gonna play this.
I mean, looking at the gameplay, like I was shocked at how many different styles they had. How many games I was like, oh, this looks like that. This looks like that. Like things that I didn't even see in It Takes Two. Like, that's crazy.
It reminds me of, again, like just playing It Takes Two when me and Nick were streaming it on the Kind of Funny streams during the pandemic, where every 30 minutes ago you'd be like, man, this is just fun shit. Like this is just a fun fucking time. And I had the exact same feelings here.
Next
March.
In March.
Crazy.
Woo, again, $50. Like, oh, they got a recipe for success. The Game Changers Award was next. This is Amir Satvat, who is amazing. What an incredible section of the show.
And what a great response from Jeff in the criticism. And how do you talk about the layoffs and how do you do this stuff? And even admitting, like, how do we fit that into an awards show? Coming up with this and giving it to Amir, that's just brilliant. I'm shocked that I did not know. This is a blind spot for me. Out of all the things we've talked about, I've talked about the Google Docs people put up with all the Excel documents in the job, but to go to his website, right, amirsatvat.com, like it's all here, it's all laid out, like they're talking in the video, it's all free to go get all these resources. Incredible.
Man, that was an emotional little video.
Yep.
Emotional video, emotional speech.
Yeah.
What a great, powerful moment, especially in front of, on this platform, in front of all of these executives that are watching, and the power and the money in that room. Like, I just hope a morsel of it resonates.
Yeah. And we talk about how many people that like watch the Game Awards, hundreds of millions or whatever. And usually when we're reacting, we have like a huge influx of people that watch the show and watch us react live. Greg brings up, how do you bring this up during an awards show? And the fact that during that whole segment, you look at chat and everybody's loving it. Everybody's like, this is amazing, right? Like, it's not an impossible thing to do, to talk about the state of the industry and try to do good by the industry and also keep people engaged and keep people entertained or get people emotional. I think this is what people want from the show.
It was great.
Good feel-good moment.
They did it, man. This was great. Like, this speech hit hard, and he's doing great work. I feel like that's the important thing. Like, there's somebody that we can look at and be like, this is how we can help. Maybe not fix everything, but at least like move towards it and celebrate the people that are actually doing something to make the industry a better place when there is so much turmoil, so much hardship. But beautiful. Loved that so freaking much. Somebody said it. I think it might have been Blast, might have been Andy, but like that was the best Game Awards speech of all time. And like legitimately, no bullshit. I do think Greg's speech is like one of the most impactful, I think at a certain point, the most impactful speech at Game Awards. This is up there. Like,
oh, for sure.
And like, do we need to rank them? I don't fucking know. It doesn't matter.
I would give Greg's an 8.5. I would give Amir's a 9.5.
Yeah. I mean, I would give
point better.
I would give both 10s. But like, I do think that it is important that like, being up there and giving speeches, like it's hard. There's a lot you got to do and you'll never get a speech right. Like no matter what, you're not thanking some people and you're overlooking someone's going to be mad that you didn't shout out somebody, whatever the hell. But like, that was amazing. Like this was like using that time on this platform in such an important way.
I mean, the fact that he was a dude, right? Yeah. The fact that he like, even as he's giving his speech, you talk about you can't get it perfect. I think the beautiful thing about it is that like he goes up and like he doesn't come off like he's like a public speaker and he does this every single day, but he comes off as a human being, and
genuine.
He's coming off as genuine, speaking from his heart, and I think that does lend to a 10 out of 10 speech, right? Yep. The fact that he's able to say all this and we feel every single thing he's saying, and it comes back to make another Spider-Man reference this week, right? Like it is the anybody can wear the mask thing. I hope that people watch this that are in the games industry and they go, oh man, I have the means to do this too. And they start their own websites and try to like help each other get jobs and do all this stuff. Like I hope this is a chain reaction situation.
Yeah. And dude, like this is very dumb, but shout out to him shouting out his parents for like raising him right, for caring for other people. Yeah. I do think that is like such an important thing to just like care about others and to push that on people, that it's important, because I feel like we lose that often. And I think personally, my favorite people are the ones that do care about other people. So shout out to you. That was an amazing speech. The next up, we had Black Frost, The Long Dark 2.
What? When?
I have no notes. You're reading my notes, right? I just black box a long dark too.
I was
And we were
rushed
just
right
like,
there.
it was like we all watched it, and then it was like, all right, on to the next. There's Borderlands.
Man,
all right,
I
well.
don't remember that.
Leslie called it out. That was the only time. Yeah,
Oh, it's the long dark too.
Yeah.
Trust me.
I don't even have a press
Someone's
release
hyped.
about it.
I don't know,
Yeah.
but I'm
A
not.
lot of people love the long dark.
But then we had Borderlands 4, and I do feel like this was probably my first miss of this show, of having Randy Pitchford come out on stage. I get it.
I think the trailer too.
The trailer was a miss. Yeah, the trailer just
Yeah.
didn't
I mean,
hit.
I think
thought it
Randy
was
didn't
gonna
need to
hit
come
harder.
out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm sure that's the agreement that he wanted to because
I'm
Randy
sure.
loves being on stage, and his jacket was dope. But yeah, the trailer, I just don't know. I think the way they initially introduced it made a lot of us feel like, oh, maybe this is them going in a different direction, elevating, changing the art style. Blah, blah. It's like, no, it's just more Borderlands, which again, I'm going to play more Borderlands. I enjoy Borderlands. Jen texted me from the Game Awards and said, I will play Borderlands 4 with you. So it's like, we're going to go do that whole thing. But it is, here were the Vault Hunters, and here was the thing. The official description goes, a new trailer introduces the Timekeeper, a ruthless dictator who dominates the masses from on high. A world-altering catastrophe threatens his perfect order. Unleashing mayhem across Kairos, the most dangerous planet discovered so far in the Borderlands universe. Borderlands 4 is the most ambitious Borderlands to date, lovingly handcrafted by the development studio that first forged the looter-shooter genre. The title evolves the series' gameplay and storytelling in new ways while delivering on quintessential Borderlands experience fans know and love. It mentions the Vault Hunters, the billions of wild and deadly weapons, the deepest and most diverse Vault Hunter skill trees of Borderlands yet, so on and so forth. Players will seamlessly travel between zones, become immersed and more dynamic. New traversal mechanics added exploration for loot and new dimension to combat. A vehicle that can be summoned almost anywhere will have players racing across the beautiful vistas of Kairos in style. Fight solo or co-op, blah, blah, blah. You read through these bullet points they sent, and none of these sound revolutionary. Sounds
and you
like
see
Borderlands.
this logo even. Like,
Yeah, and that's the Borderlands 3
Yeah.
logo, right?
It's all right, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's I mean, I think it would be blasphemous.
Last of Us?
Last of Us. It would be blasphemous to change the art style, but I am just so kind of over that art style that they have right now, and like I would totally understand why there would be any like, no, we can't do that. Do you know the amount of people that would be so pissed off and would like revolt in the streets and make you change the way Sonic looks in the movie to like get him to look more like Sonic in the video game? Like,
Thank God.
there's no way that we would allow that. And I personally would love that. I also just love when shit changes in games, but I just, whenever we saw any glimpse of a character walking with that same sort of art style, like, it's so tired to me, you know?
Would changing the art style change, I think, the tenor of what this trailer was, as far as,
No.
I guess, is that the thing that would get people excited about Borderlands?
It would get people talking about it.
I
Really talking about it, because it would
Okay.
be exciting and different for sure.
Because
I mean, I feel like it was different, and then it wasn't, but it kind of was.
I think
See, my whole thing with it, with all due respect to you, is I just don't think you're entrenched in that audience. Where the first group of enemies they showed was like, oh, it looked like psychos with red eyes. It's like, okay, they're they're more black and white than orange and pink. It's like, all right.
But I mean, the coloring, I think, goes a long way. Of like seeing that the beginning of the trailer before it got to gameplay, it looked different. But like, I'm not saying it's good though.
Yeah.
Like, it kind of just seems like this seems like a dead franchise.
then that's
Looking
kind
at
of where I'm coming into it, as far as I am so impressed how the feel was when Borderlands 2 was announced, when Borderlands 3 was announced, and now we're at when Borderlands 4 is announced and being showed off, where it feels like a different franchise. Borderlands 3 was hype.
The movie really hurt it.
I don't even think it was the movie. I think it's a funny
Before
joke,
that,
obviously. I think it was the fact that Borderlands, there was such a gap between Borderlands 2 and 3. We forget that, right? So that Borderlands 3 event and mantling and all this stuff, it was a cool reveal, and it was this nostalgia hit, and it was this thing. And then I think people jumped into it and got it and were like, yeah, it's Borderlands. And I think for a lot of people, like, I platinumed it, right? But a lot of people, like, didn't even finish it. They played a bunch and then were just like, I've had enough. Like, you're at this buffet, and you're like, I'm pushing back because I've had enough. And I think that's the taste that was left in the mass gamer appeal. I know there's a hardcore Borderlands audience, right? But I think the mass mainstream audience of gamers who played it were like, I've had my fill of this, and I'm not asking for more. You didn't let me get hungry again. People were hungry after Borderlands 2 for Borderlands 3, right? And I know the pre-sequel is in there or whatever, but like, they were for that next major real Borderlands, and then they got it, and they're like, okay, cool. This was a nice nostalgia hit, and I had fun with it, but I'm ready to not do this. So to look at it and be like, it's more of the same. I don't think you're gonna get that same pop.
I think you just need a larger shakeup. Like it could be art style, but I think it needs to be more than art style.
No,
like
100%.
watching this trailer, I remember when the Borderlands 2 trailer came out, and I watched that trailer like 20 times. I forget it was like a very popular dubstep song that Borderlands 2 had in this trailer. I watched that shit so much, and there was an energy. There's an energy that is so lacking in this trailer.
Yeah, this one didn't have the music, the pop.
It didn't have the music.
Almost like with the movie. Remember, Tim, when we walked down, I was like, where is it?
Where's the licensed
soul?
music?
Where
What are we
at?
doing?
There was like
This
nothing
missed that.
new. Like
Yeah.
this felt empty.
Here's the problem, though. Borderlands is still just so beloved to me that it's like, now I'm going to play it. But when does that goodwill finally end for me? When is it? This could be the one for me where it's like, if this doesn't hit, I'm like, all right, this is now like, you don't get the pass for just the name anymore.
I'm gonna play it. Then Jen wants to play it. We're in. Are we gonna finish it? Are we
Yeah.
gonna platinum it? Am I gonna fall in love with the Vault Hunter and the skill tree? That was one of my problems with Borderlands 3. Honestly, is like I didn't ever love any of my Vault Hunters that I was playing as and what I was going for. Real quick in the YouTube chat, Rick Grimes says 10 out of 10. More like 0 out of 0. Rick,
Nice.
Shane's fucking your wife. All right, don't worry about what's happening over
shit.
here.
Man, that was crazy times.
He doesn't know yet. You know what I mean? It hadn't started
wake
here.
up.
Borderlands 3 by 2023 sold over 18 million copies.
It was a huge hit.
It's gonna do well.
Oh yeah.
But I'm with Blessing.
I mean,
it
that's
does
the whole
feel
thing, is
like,
like-
there's nothing to be jazzed or excited about, you know?
I am excited for more. When the preview invite comes through, I'm going to be excited to play. When we can get review code, I'm going to be excited to do it. But I'm not going to be... I look at that, and that could so easily be Borderlands 3.
Yeah.
It's just like, I'm not like, oh, I got to fucking do this. It's almost the same way of like the Borderlands 3, the DLCs. When those started coming, I was like, yeah, let's go. And we were doing the Borderlands show, I think. And progressively, the more DLCs we got, I was just like, I didn't even finish the last one because okay, you know what I mean? A lot of it. What now?
Rick Grimes says Kind of Funny Games is a joke.
You know, I'll tell his joke, your fucking marriage, all right? Judith isn't even yours. You know what I mean?
Spoilers, everyone. Spoilers.
We don't know that for sure. They never got tested.
Honestly, I'd be happy. I would not want a kid named Judith.
It's a 50-50 shot.
I know. What is it, 1953?
Next up.
Might as well name her Mildred.
Borderlands 2 Doomsday trailer is the one I'm talking about, by the way. Go back and watch
Doomsday
that.
by Nero,
Yes.
dude.
Oh, that trailer fucks.
Doomsday.
That was a top tier one.
That shit's
Hell
hype.
yeah.
Tekken 8.
Tekken?
Live.
This is one of those ones that this is where I started just laughing at how ridiculous and crazy this fucking Game Awards is as far as announcements. It's not Tifa, but hey, I'll take what I can get. I love me some Clive. I love me some Ben Starr. And I don't know if that's a me thing is when like our connection to Ben Starr and like I think we like Final Fantasy 16 maybe more than a lot of people. Like I'm curious on what the community's response is to Clive. Because I'm not checked.
There's multi-communities here, right? Because there's Tekken, there's Final Fantasy, there's like a lot of things in between. Like the reality is Final Fantasy 16 loved by many people, but also divisive to Final Fantasy fans because let's just be real, it's more a Devil May Cry game than it is a Final Fantasy game in a lot of ways, but also it is the most mature Final Fantasy we've had in a long time. And I feel like because of that, it's not what people that love a lot of the core Final Fantasy experiences expected or wanted from a Final Fantasy. You look at me, and I'm like, you're speaking my goddamn language, man. You give me Game of Thrones, Devil May Cry, Final Fantasy with Ben Starr, I'm fucking here for it, dude. So I'm so excited that Clive's getting this much love. Like, the fact that Clive is being featured in games a couple years later, like, hell yeah.
I love this.
Because I want 16 to live on. I do think that 16, at the end of the day, is going to be looked back at more fondly than it is currently.
It better or I'm going to have to fight.
Yeah.
good.
Like we're not treating this like it's FF13 or like even come on. Like we got to treat this like it's a good ass game.
Just give me the come on.
Yeah. Like or like I don't know what the tenor is on or what the tone is on FF15 either. But like 16 is a legitimately good game. I understand if you're a Final
So is
Fantasy
13 and
fan.
15, but you're right.
Yeah.
16, I mean, I've
16
said it.
is
and I
really,
stand by
really
it.
good.
16 is, I think, the best. And like people are going to rip me apart for that. But I stand by it,
Yeah.
man. I think that as a complete experience, like it knew what it was going for and it fucking did it. And yeah, Clive as a character is amazing. And I don't think anyone denies that.
That's the thing is, I think this Clive announcement does so much for me. I hope it does stuff for other people, right? I think I could see the side of people that are the same people who, you know, wanted Tifa in it, but you get Clive and you go, well, we got Noctis in the last one. You're going to just keep giving us Final Fantasy characters. I can understand that element of it if people feel that way. But
It should be Tifa, though.
It should be Tifa.
It should be Tifa, man.
And that is like probably my ultimate feeling. But I'll take Clive. I love Clive.
I mean, I just can't get enough Ben Starr.
Talked a lot of shit about him.
No,
Right?
I don't know if that's how you feel.
Yeah. You said he's the dubstep of video.
You gonna boot up?
games.
And who doesn't love Ben Starr?
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Also, dude, Tekken 8. Y'all, play through at least the story. It's so fucking... Splitgate 2.
What?
They showed Splitgate 2.
They did?
Yes, they did.
No,
We talked about it.
was one of the
We literally
commercials.
talked about it. Yeah, yeah. It was a commercial.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That was one of the commercials.
Just remind you, hey, Splitgate, it's coming out soon. You can jump into it.
It's not out.
No.
No.
See, that's where you get into these betas, early access things, where that was your first impression,
Mike, preach,
and now
yeah.
you forgot, right? And so the issue with this game is it had all the goodwill in Splitgate 1. Now we've gone to Splitgate 2. Andy forgot that. Is it out? Is it not out? Where the hell are we? And so now it's got to reintroduce itself and somehow get this audience to come on board when there's 1,000 other games exactly like it,
was the
and you're
summer
going to
of
get
early
lost in the
access.
sauce.
I was about to type in Splitgate 2 Steam DB just to see what the concurrent players are, and it's not even out. That's fucking crazy. You're right, Mike.
Some of early
You
access.
get one. You always get one first impression. Remember that. It's tough. It's tough to come back for a second. We've seen it.
What's the game that we
time
played?
and time again.
Something Punk?
Frag Punk.
Frag
We saw
That's
that
gonna
here
come up
too.
next.
We saw it here too.
Is that out?
No, that's
No,
Frag Punk's not out.
we learned it wasn't. No, it's
We
learned it wasn't.
It's an open beta.
Oh, you're right. I did ask. You're right.
Yeah.
Next up, Greg made the note. I went out and got some tenders. Some shit Mike might care about. Trailers, Star Wars.
Yeah, there was a lot of trailers here, and they did the Star Wars thing.
okay, first of all, you
Here's
missed-
some
This
outlaw
was the
stuff.
Arcane performance here.
No, I was outside during
sound.
arcade.
Well, I didn't write any of the performances down, so that's
Yeah.
possible.
Yeah,
I think
I
Virtual
did.
Fighter's in here
Yeah,
somewhere.
this is the Arcane performance, which was fucking awesome. I love that they do these performances and like make them matter. Snoop Dogg was there too. But Virtua Fighter 4, December 13th, we're getting a direct. Bless. Are you a Virtua Fighter guy at all?
I've always wanted to be. This is the one. This is like my last, my white whale of like a fighting game franchise I've been wanting to get into, and I've been like waiting for the next big release for it. They announced the Virtual Fighter 4 Revo. Chat, correct me if I'm wrong about that. That I'm wanting to jump into when that comes out. But the fact of like announcing a new Virtual Fighter game, that's something that the fighting game community has been talking about for a while, a lot within the last year or two, because I think this was one of the ones that was rumored for last Game Awards.
We thought this was going to happen, but instead they were like, hey, here's Crazy Taxi and all
Yes.
these other fucking games.
Yes, and so like
Crazy.
I have stepped into Virtual Fighter, right? Like I've played rounds of I think the PS3 one, and then probably back in the day, like maybe something in arcade. I don't know, but like
Yeah.
I've always wanted to dive in deeper, and I'm fucking hyped for it.
Spent a lot of quarters at the Peter Piper Pizza in Far, Texas, playing some Virtual Fighter because I was like, man, they're really blocky, but it's not 2D like the way Mortal Kombat is. And what a weird surprise though. Like just two back-to-back things that we thought was gonna be more Yakuza.
That was one thing, but
Yeah.
then it wasn't. Yeah, they
Five
got you.
Revo, thank you, chat.
Yeah, we got a Virtua Fighter 5 Revo. Beta sign-up is up now on Steam and seems to be ready immediately. 20 gigabyte download. Pre-orders up at $16. 20% off. Launches January 27th, 2026.
I'm tired.
I assume that year is an error.
$16.
That's weird, right?
Yeah, just but like the shock in your voice.
So it's 20 new?
Yeah.
This is what Wario's reporting on Twitter.
Yeah.
I'm gathering stuff as it's
But like
happening.
that's kind of wild, right? So like a very, very budget release here.
Yeah.
But
Wait,
is it going to be $16 just for this early access, especially if the game's coming in 2026?
It'll get more expensive then.
Wait, is
That's why you buy in now.
five Revo? Is that that's not the same as the new one that's announced, right? Is what are we talking about here?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're talking about 5 Revo as like the main thing that's being announced. Then I'm just out the loop. I don't know what's happening.
Hold on. No, you're right. Nerd Confirmed says 5's the remake, 6 is the new.
Thank you. Okay, see,
Okay.
that's what I thought. So yeah, 5 Revo is like Virtual Fighter 5 coming back as a remake.
Got it. Okay.
That's what the beta is.
Cool.
But yes,
cool.
there is the exciting announcement here is a brand new Virtual Fighter game.
Wild. The only one I played was 4, which was a long time ago.
Very long time ago. It's funny because Andy mentioning like, being at the arcade, putting in quarters, being like, oh yeah, this ain't Street Fighter or whatever. I don't know. I remember playing a 3D fighter back in the arcade back in the day when I was a kid. I don't know how much of it was Tekken or Virtua Fighter. I know I played a lot of one of those when I was like a young kid at the arcade, but I was not old enough to know the difference.
Did you ever play Bloody Roar?
Yes, I played Bloody Roar.
Yeah, that game rocks.
Bloody Roar is one I looked at a lot. Like, I don't know if Man,
I
rented the fuck out of Bloody Roar, man.
Next up, we got another RGG game. This is Project Century.
And Primal Rage.
In 19... yes.
Great game.
Yes.
Never be
Ultimate
Set in
rental
1915 Italy.
Not Italy.
Yeah, no? Is that
Not
confirmed?
Italy.
No?
It's Tokyo or whatever. This is my whole. This is the whole joke.
This is the bit.
Yeah.
This is the bit.
Yeah. Cool. This looks kind of rad. Like we thought it was Sleeping Dogs. Like there's a lot of fun stuff going on. I feel like the setting and combat of this looked pretty interesting.
Who put out Sleeping Dogs?
Square Enix.
Okay, never mind then. Because I'm saying we're calling it Project Century. That's not a final title. Maybe there's a chance. Just think about that.
I'm double checking. I'm pretty sure that's right.
But yeah, this looks good as fuck. This looks. I mean, no matter what this is, right? Like it looks like it's a successor somewhat to a Sleeping Dogs type of game, which I think people have been asking for. Like it gives a bit of, I guess, Yakuza as well. When I'm looking at these street fights, it's fucking violent. Hand, like grabbing weapons, knocking people out. Like I'm all about this shit.
God damn,
What I kind of like is the playable character here. Like the animations look very like he's
nonchalant,
just a guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'm just a chill guy.
Getting, like busted around. Like he's not like this fucking like, oh, I'm this hero that can like hit you hard. Like,
but then he
he's
also
just
did
kinda
that
taking-
running jump punch, which is always a symbol of like a cool dude.
Cool dude,
He's
yeah.
not just a guy.
Yeah,
He did the
yeah.
running fucking. That shit's cool.
I mean, all right. At this table, like I know Roger is the guy for these games. Like Greg, you've played a couple of these in the past. Like
The Yakuzas?
yeah.
Yeah, I reviewed a couple of them.
Yeah,
for
exactly. And but even like Judgment, like
Yeah,
you
I played Judgment for fun. Yeah.
Like, does this get anyone like, oh, this is the one for me?
Well, there's something
The
about that.
setting
doesn't
seems
look like
cool.
the same thing.
Them doing something different is always interesting. That's the thing of putting it into a different era, a different time. What's that world gonna look like? Like my pushing away from Yakuza has been just like, I feel like I've been there and done there. I've been in the red light district. I've done that whole thing before. So to see a new setting is always like, oh, okay, you have my attention. I'd like to go jump in and see if that would click for me.
There's something about the look of it that reminds me way more of Sifu than Yakuza, though.
Yes,
And it's something about like it doesn't look as
it looks more
the
combat
doesn't
focused.
it doesn't
Yeah,
look
the
as
combat.
arcadey. When you're in sort of those combat scenarios. And again, I have a total of maybe 30 minutes in any of their games like combined, right? But yeah, this feels a lot more combat focused and less just like, I mean, sometimes Yakuza, you have like a big group of people, you just kind of punch them all at the same time. Like it felt a little bit more silly in some ways.
Even the way some of those guys walked up to him, right? Like in a Like a Dragon or in Judgment, it would be a transition of, oh, we're fighting now, right? Like this looks a bit more seamless. Like it seems like it. I almost wouldn't put it so far of seeing it in that bucket of Like a Dragon or Lost Judgment. This feels like it's more further into being its own thing. And I hope
I
it's
think
just
it's
a lot of
pretty
asking.
cool.
I think it's
I
cool.
want to give it a shot.
100%.
Next up, we had
And he's
Kojima.
smoking.
Kojima came out, gave a little speech,
Presented an award.
presented some shit.
Yeah. Surprising. No trailers.
Yeah. Anyone let
nothing.
down? I am.
Again, this show was so good that
Yeah.
no, I don't look at this and go, but where was the new Death Stranding? Where was something for OD? Where was Jordan Peele? Like, you fucking had it. Kojima can just show up and be Kojima and have a dope suit.
Yeah, he had so much time last year, I think.
Yeah.
It was appropriate amount of time of him this year.
I'm also perfectly fine not getting more on Death Stranding 2. I've been kind of Death Stranding 2'd out.
I just feel like the amount of time they gave him, I would have liked to have had something more than just him talking for this show. But next up, we had Turok Origins.
What the?
Which
My
I didn't
favorite was
believe.
everybody being like, oh, it's Ark. Well, it's not Turok. Oh, yeah, every dinosaur can't be a Turok. It's Turok!
Yeah, no, I straight up said there's no way it's Turok, and it fucking was. And I can't believe it. This is crazy shit, man.
Warhammer
Your
Space
dreams.
Marines, just Turok. Like if
That's
that's,
all you
Turok
need,
with
right?
3 players, you're in. Is right.
How
We're in
have
on
we
this.
not got dinosaurs right in the modern era? They're the coolest thing ever.
Coolest thing.
I've always felt that way.
What was that one game?
know that.
Primal something or
I know what you're
Primal
talking
Rage.
about.
Capcom one?
No,
no? You
I
know
know
what
which
it
one
was
you're talking about.
recent. They were shooting
I
at
feel
the
like it's
dinosaurs.
Second Extinction.
Second Extinction.
Yes,
Yes,
uh-huh.
That game was
that
cool.
was fun.
Yeah, This one, if this is 3 players and it's like I said, Space Marines type vibe, I'm in. I'm into this.
That would work.
Exo Primal was the one I was thinking of.
Yeah,
taking.
Oh, Exo Primal.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. This is wild. Looks very different for Turok.
Yes.
Turok's always been first person.
Originally first person, at least.
Yeah, right. With even the PS3 reboot was first person. Then for Dinosaur Kills, I think you jumped out to third person, similar to like Indie. What?
That's how he knows so much. He knows.
Oh, I reviewed it. Yeah, I reviewed it and I went up and did a preview.
What was it called?
I think they just did Turok. The PS3.
When you kill a dinosaur, like for the like.
Oh, I thought you meant the title was called Turok Dinosaur Kills.
I thought that's the coolest title ever.
No, I'm sorry. I think it was first person when you were playing it, and then when you would get in to do like a finisher, you'd do a dinosaur kill, it would jump to third. So I think that's right. I think that's right.
I was like, I've never heard of this game in my life.
What game is this?
Turok,
Dinosaur Kills.
And I can't tell if it's like the dinosaurs are killing or it's like a caveman be like dinosaur kills.
From Saber and Universal. So from Saber and Universal.
Oh, yeah.
Gonna be honest, don't have high hopes for this game.
You
From
say
anything
that,
being said here.
but Saber is, lauded for being the people who are saving right now the AA space and making things like Space Marine and making things that are like, hey, yo, these aren't going to win Game of the Year, but they're fun. You have fun with your friends and you go play it. Like, maybe it is time not to overthink Turok. And
I would
it is
hope,
just
yeah.
go fucking kill a bunch of dinosaurs with your friends.
I hope I'm wrong, because like that would be awesome. But this does feel like a quick answer to we had a success. Like what IP do we have access to? Let's do something. I don't know, but I love that it's here. What a surprise!
I like it.
Helldivers 2. Loved the on stage little like build up to this. Right, guy coming out doing the whole PSA. Like that's what this is all about.
That's the guy.
But Greg, what'd you think?
Went and played this. Went down to PlayStation, played this with the one, the only Gary Whitta. Had a great time. Of course, I love Helldivers 2. You're well aware of that. My PlayStation clock, I think, said 67 hours played for this year.
2 more.
However, Gary Whitta has over 1,000 hours in. So really, my opinion does not matter. Only the one and only Gary Whitta opinion matters. Hello, Gary. How are you?
You're live, Gary.
Hey, what's up?
He knows. This isn't the usual bullshit call. I set this one up. Gary, we're at the Helldivers 2 section of the show, and I'm looking for your impressions from your hands-on preview. A big deal. We brought you out of retirement. You haven't done a Games Press preview event in decades, and I was like, come play.
Yeah, we were joking about at the time that I've been retired from this for so long that it almost felt weird to be back at like a PR press event for a video game. Almost felt like a scene from my former life. But if there's any one game that could drag me out of retirement and get me to go to like a PR event, it would be this one, because I've been genuinely excited to see like what the big update was going to be.
So what did you think? Tell me about what you thought of the operation.
I mean, I'm literally playing it right now. I've been playing it since the update dropped. I think they've done a really, really good job. I mean, it'll take a while for it to like really settle in, but the first impressions are I really like the new faction. The fucking tripods are horrifying. They're now like the hardest thing to kill in the game, and they're like those goddamn Spielberg War in the Worlds tripods. Like they're really creepy and scary. And just like lots of like really, really fun stuff. Like one of the things that's been driving me nuts is you remember this when they scramble your stratagems. Like it doesn't get jammed, but it like keeps changing the code on the fly.
So the whole idea that these guys are telepathic, right? Aliens or whatever. Right. So like they can go in and like rather than it's scrambling, you can't use your stratagems. They're up, but they go really quick. They cycle. So if you're not on it.
Well, whatever the stratagem is probably not going to be the one you remember. So like your muscle memory for it, like if it's something you dial up a lot, won't work. And then even if you're dialing it in like halfway through, like if you're not quick enough, it'll just change midway and you'll have to start over. And it's like maddening, but like in the most true to Helldivers kind of way. The same thing with the manual gear shift on the vehicle. Like it's just a lot. It's just going to be an absolute shit show, and I love that.
Yeah, can't wait to get bored. So I'm glad you're having. I won't stop you from having fun, Gary. Thank you for giving your seal of approval.
No, thanks for having me to the event and to come on and talk about it. You know, anytime anything Helldivers related crops up, I'm your man.
Hell yeah, we love you, Gary.
I can confirm, Greg, that the update has been installed on your PS5 Pro and on Mike's PC, so y'all are going to be ready to play. Also, shout out to Craig Lee Thomas, who I took a commercial voice acting class from.
Oh, nice.
And he's the main Helldivers guy, which
so
is
cool.
Very weird.
One of the things,
Very cool.
Gary mentioned there, but I think is like so true to Helldivers, right? They put this recon vehicle in there. It's a stratagem you can call down. You will find them around, but rather than it be, just L2 to reverse, like you have to manually shift with L1 to R1 to reverse, to drive, to gear 1 to gear 2. Like they're making it as cumbersome as possible. Really like that. Like I talked about when we were watching it, urban warfare is a big part of it. You're in an actual city. There's other cars. There's all this different stuff going on. There's new stratagems, obviously, to unlock. Stuff like, you bring down the resupply, but now you can have a gunner on top of it. So it's a mounted turret going down. A lot of cool shit to dive into. Can't wait to play. Hopefully we have enough time after this to get some in.
Hell yeah, man. Next up, we had Warframe. Also, actually, before we get there, shout out to PlayStation, right? Like, drop in a very cool expansion.
Omens of Tyranny out right now, free. Yeah. This is content we talked while we were there to Johan, right? Game, not master because that's the thing, but game director, the head cheese, right? Who was giving it. He's like, we're like, all right, so is this free? And he's like, oh yeah, free. Like he's like, we want to support Helldivers for years to come, and we want it to be that, hey, everybody has the same experience. He's like, there's new war bonds, there's new stuff to buy that way, but like, no, everybody's gonna get this. Just go get it. And yeah, to be a day and day, here it is. Let's go. I can't wait.
And Astrobot.
Yes,
double will hit.
Very cool. Very cool. Next up, we had Warframe. This was probably, I would say, the most main segment that felt like a paid-for segment, but that's kind of always been the thing. And that might be a bias I have towards Warframe. But do you guys think differently?
I mean, I think there's like the mainstays that I think you're going to see every year no matter what. I think Warframe's one of them. I think the other is like the Hoyoverse stuff. And that's just the nature of live games. And so I'm not mad at it because it's the thing of Jeff is taking these so he can pay for Snoop Dogg or pay for like whatever big acts or whatever things he wants to do. This is him like getting that check, and I think that's necessary. So
I'm more impressed that Warframe is still around, right? Like that's one of those where you see that and you're like, wow, good for them.
And they're doing well, right? They have an audience.
It's like
people love Warframe. It's that normal thing of like that. The fact they're here every year is telling to how much that audience cares and that they want to keep doing stuff.
And they're building stuff for them.
You look at this, right? And that's my hope to a smaller degree, of course, for Helldivers, is that we do have these big tentpole things, and there's something going on in Helldivers to bring me back as somebody who did move on to other games, unlike Gary Whitta, who has never stopped.
Yeah. Next up, we have Pal World's next major update. Pal World Faybreak releases December 23rd, 2024 on Christmas Eve. The new mysterious island is the largest and harshest in Pal World's history. The island is about 6 times the size of the previous one, which was added in the last major update. A powerful faction leader and many vicious new species of Pals lurk here. A large amount of new content will also be added. Will Mike give a shit?
That's the question. I mean, I gave a shit watching it. Now the question is, will this be enough to pull me back? Do I jump in and go, oh, wow, I've been missing this? I think that's always been the toughest part of these survival crafting games is here's the first impression. Oh, I love it. Oh, my God, I splurged 40 hours, 80 hours into this. Okay, no more content. Now I wait. And then it's always been with 1,000 games in front of me, it's always too late, a little too late where, hey, this is great, but I've already moved on to 100 other games. I don't know if this will pull me back in. Pal World has a special place in my heart. Pal World this February was nuts. That was an insane time. They really crushed the survival crafting games, and they mixed that Pokemon, gotta catch them all, training these animals into my world that I always wanted as a Pokemon fan. So it's like, man, this game has something there. It's one of my favorite survival games.
Mike, I don't think there's anything better than the first 5 to 10 hours of a survival game.
Correct.
Like
nothing better than
just
that.
Those vibes of getting started.
The vibe we're all doing. Yeah. What are you building?
I'm building
this.
Like it just it's electric, Tim. It's an electric feeling.
You can feel it.
But Pal World definitely kind of lost me later on.
Wiggy.
I think other survival games always kind of get me on the hook, and Pal World I think was kind of a genius concept, even though a lot of
good for them
ideas.
For inventing it.
Yeah, a lot of ideas, but like the idea of having these, very obvious kind of like Pokemon inspired pals, kind of helping do the building, and you all are like, I loved it, and it was just having that rhythm of going out and then coming back to the base was just so fun.
Yeah,
and then it kind of quickly wore off on me.
The big catch is like, for someone who jumps into this for the first time, they have so much content, right? Like for me and Andy and others, we jump into different games. Maybe it's day 1, maybe it's day 1,000, and we all get to experience something totally different with how much content they put in, where you're at with it. So yeah, another island there, more trainers to battle. Like, yeah, this game is building, and it was a big hit this year. I would love to see the numbers of the PlayStation release, of course, which was recently, where we're at with this. Where is the player base on this? How much longer does it have? It's very interesting.
I brought this up months ago at this point, but a friend of mine, the wedding that I officiated in Mexico, the husband plays Pal World with his group of friends every night.
Fuck yeah.
And I went to a holiday party last weekend with them, and I jokingly was like, "Are y'all still playing Pal World?" He's like, "Every night."
Hell yeah.
Like they're still
that's
playing
dope.
every night. Him and his group of friends. I'm
Gamers
like,
are alive and well.
Holy shit! man.
Yes, exactly.
I wish we were sometimes I wish we were normies. We all just worked in a coal mine and then we went home and played one game.
One game.
We still play DC Universe Online.
God damn. Next up, oh my God, you guys. Onimusha, Way of the Sword.
Those red wisps were going somewhere.
That was crazy.
Coming in 2026.
Is it possible to watch actually the reaction that I think it's been posted. It's in assets for sure. If people didn't see the live reaction, there's a number of great reactions, but Tim's Onimusha reaction is a top tier Tim moment.
Tim, I'll be real with you. The red wisps, I know I was just like saying that shit, but the visual identity of it reminded me obviously of what I'd seen of Onimusha, and like it was a game I rented, but don't remember anything about. But it reminded me of DMC, and like the way some of like the picks up the orbs you'd get from Devil May Cry looks, and I was like, oh my God, Tim's gonna have a meltdown.
Yeah, man. I can't believe this. Like, real talk.
I noticed.
No. Like, I've been doing this a very long time. I've been reacting to things for a decade at the very least.
What a statement. What a statement. I've been reacting to things.
But yeah, hold on. Let's watch this in this Inception.
And what if it's Onimusha?
Stop. Like, literally, I was just thinking that. Oh, wait.
These red things look familiar too.
If they get
He's seen
sucked
these
into
before.
a fucking gauntlet, I swear to God.
What are these red wisps?
But what if
doing,
it
Tim?
was Onimusha, Tim?
Look at these wisps. Where are they wisping to, Tim?
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Oh my God!
Oh my God! Oh my God! Holy shit!
What if it was? Amazing.
Holy shit!
Jeff, you're fucking
This is a 10 out
insane.
of 10.
Holy shit!
This is impossible! I'm tearing up. I can't fucking believe it.
And it looks fire as fuck. It looks Holy shit!
I'm tearing up right now watching this.
Shit.
What in the?
Way of the Sword.
My heart is beating.
That took Tim out for the whole show.
It's finally stopped.
That was his bread belly.
Yeah. No, like, real talk though. Like, it's funny because we do Gamescast daily now, and we often are doing the meetings, like trying to come up with topics of like, how do we fill the space when there isn't something to talk about, a review or like an obvious preview, predictions or whatever. And I've been thinking like dream game announcements. Like, let's do a topic that's like the things that would be the most mind-blowing. I can't actually fathom them doing this. Onimusha's that for me. Like a new Onimusha, because they re-released the first one remastered and it didn't do well. Like, it kind of came out, and again, Onimusha 1, it's like a 4.5 hour game. Like, it's very short. I can't believe we're here. That looks amazing. This is crazy. That trailer is like, we joke about the Splinter Cell, the 3 fucking green dots, and like, oh, how many times are they going to do that? I can't believe we just saw those fucking orbs get sucked into a gauntlet. That was fucking perfect. My only hesitation is...
It looks like a Souls-like.
Well, okay, maybe I have to. It does look hard.
That's a little concerned. You'll push through it.
But no, I'm down though. I'll show the fuck up for Onimusha. But that's not Saminosuke. I don't think it's the main character. Like it's an identifiable actor from Japan that I don't know, but like it's a big deal of getting his likeness and all that stuff. He was the main character of 1 and 3, which are my favorites. 2 was another character, Jubei. 2's great, but Saminosuke is my fucking guy. I don't think that was him. So we'll see.
We have a bit of a description. Do you want some paragraphs?
Please do. Please give me
Onimusha Way of the Sword is set in Kyoto in the early Edo period. Okay. The nefarious malice has transformed this historic city into a dark, twisted haven for the return of the demonic Genma.
Oh my god.
A lone samurai steps forth, wielding the legendary Oni gauntlet, and engages in brutally graceful sword fights, wiping his brow of sweat and blood. What path will he take, and what is the reason behind those battle-worn eyes? Stay tuned for more information on Onimusha Way of the Sword, coming to PlayStation 5 in 2026. This is from the blog, so it's not, I don't think it's exclusive. Okay. To all the Onimusha fans who have waited this long for our reawakening, thank you for all the support you've shown us over the years. We're back.
We're back, baby. This is crazy, man. This is why I fucking love video games. Anything is possible, dude. Year of Dreams, Decade of Dreams. This is it. We are getting Onimusha Way of the Sword, and it's going to kick fucking ass. You know why? Because Capcom has fucking proved it, man. We're getting a new Onimusha from the teams that have brought you Resident Evil 2 Remake, 3 Remake, 4 Remake. So many great fucking games.
So many Resident Evils.
But it's going to be fucking awesome, man.
Dragon's Dogma.
Yes.
Fucking
Devil May Cry.
Monster Hunter.
Yeah, Devil May Cry 5.
Yeah,
man.
like they're on a run, right? Like I think what's the worst Capcom game that's come out in the last 5 years?
Exoprimal.
When Exoprimal was good,
And that was fun.
And that was a fun video game.
Yeah.
Like they don't miss right now.
And you loved
Kunitsugami Palace.
Yes.
My game of the year this year. Yeah, of course. Who can forget?
I legitimately did love that game. I didn't beat it, but I put like 8 hours into that game, and it was very good. It was like, it knew what it was, and what a great little treat that was, too.
Yeah, this is dream come true shit. So happy. Next up, we had First Berserker Kazan, coming March 27th, introduced by the Russo brothers.
Yeah, I still don't really know what that whole...
What their relation is.
Because there was a mention as we were like, why the fuck are they here? But as they mentioned our partner, whatever the hell.
They showed up as if we are all big fans and we've been following. Yeah. Where it's like, I know we've heard about this game and I don't remember their involvement or what's going on.
Yeah, and I don't know, that was kind of a lame showing because it was just a CG trailer. It was not gameplay, and the gameplay looks way different than that. It kind of reminds me of Borderlands, where they showed off that cinematic and it's a bit more realistic looking, and then the gameplay is all sort of cel shaded. First Berserker Kazan has a very sort of cel shaded look, and it looks awesome, and it's a lot of fun. I got to play it and preview it a couple months ago, but I thought this was just kind of odd. It just felt like not really reading the room. Like everybody's gonna pop off for the Russo brothers, and it's just like it's a weird kind of combination of things. And a CG trailer for a game that doesn't really have that much hype to begin with, you know?
Yeah. Next up, we had a dungeon fighter, a rod.
Which was this one?
This is the one that was another. It's like one of the many games that looks like Genshin.
Oh,
yes.
right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. What was next?
Yeah.
Next up, we had Dying Light: The Beast.
Cool.
Does it?
All right. What's next?
That's it right there. Nailed it.
I mean,
the ones I didn't underline are like more that were just like the quick things, the whatever, the trailers, the what. Yeah.
At this point, I feel like I blacked out for a lot of that sort of middle part.
Yeah.
You know.
Makes sense. We have Digital Extremes launching Warframe 1999, coming December 13th. Cool.
I've heard good things.
Yeah.
But I can't remember what they were, but they were good. Move on.
We got the Balatro collaboration as well. Then we had the Squid Game.
No, for the record, that was all one headline. Digital Extremes launching Warfare 1999, December 13th, announces Balatro collaboration. So that's not the section with Ben Starr, just to be clear.
Gotcha. Yeah. Then we had the Squid Game situation with Kyle Bossman.
That was a funny clip and
I thought
everything
it was
else.
fun.
And then leading into the Netflix game and I think promoting the
a trailer
series,
for the show coming out, which like, hey, good win. Like I know the gamers out there are going to be like, oh, why are we seeing TV show shit? Like this is good though, man. Like this is like positive cross-pollination between media, like good stuff.
And Netflix has games.
Netflix has
like
games.
that's the
Games.
continuation
Good
of like
games.
well, you have to
Hades,
promote it
man.
that like they have games and they got to make it clear to everybody around the globe. Like you got Netflix, there's games on that.
My group of friends, we all went to dinner a couple weeks ago, and they're like, Tim, what's the one game I need to play that I might not know about of the last couple of years? And I was like, Hades. and they went back, and multiple of them are playing it because of Netflix.
That's awesome.
Crazy is that?
I mean, Monument Valley 3 right now is a Netflix game. And I'm about to download the Netflix app so I can play it. So they're doing the thing.
They're doing the thing. Then we got Stage Fright.
I think Ghostbusters is still on there too. If you want to watch
Like
Frozen Empire,
movie game?
it was like the number one for quite a few weeks.
Are you talking about the recent
really
one?
changed. Yeah, Garaka's there.
His phone got hacked. He can't do it.
I can't. Yeah, I'm not allowed. My parents told me no.
We got Stage Fright from the Overcooked devs. Ghost Town Games
And another
Hello
funny
Games.
trailer,
I
especially
definitely
to start
missed
with. They're like Ghost Town Games, and then they like the guys who don't. Oh, okay.
Yeah, exactly. This was great. A lot of fun. Great presentation for the reveal of like, hey, you don't know who the fuck we are, but oh wait, you actually do.
Yeah.
And also cool like audience interaction and whatever with the set. Like this looks cool. In the same show that we also got Split Fiction from Hazelight. Like, hey, winning formula here, and Overcooked, kings of co-op games, right? Like I think that Overcooked, I'm gonna say it doesn't get enough love for how big of a co-op party game it is. I know it gets a lot of love, but like I feel like it doesn't get enough for how mainstream that game is. You know what I mean?
Fair.
So this, awesome, cool.
What's interesting about this one as being an Overcooked fan, right, is the idea that this looks to be narrative. This looks to be, just straight up. It's co-op one-on-one, right? And it is, even though you work together in Overcooked, I think of Overcooked as a competitive game quite a bit, even if you're just competing with another yourself or whatever.
Yeah, of course.
So to go through this and see even the hint they did there of collaboration, right, of one of the examples, the character was running, stepped on a switch that then froze the enemy over there. You get a hint of what gameplay might look like that. But it is going to be interesting that we talk about Hazelight. We talk about It Takes Two getting Game of the Year, right? Remember now with the new one, whose name's not Split Fiction, right?
Fiction.
That's their fourth game time doing this, where like, hey, we are making straight up co-op, play with your friend couch games, right? The fact that more people haven't gotten on board did not challenge them. That sounds wrong, but be inspired by them and go make games like that is surprising. But now to enter that fray as the Overcooked devs doing this, that's a really nice trailer. Will the gameplay stand up for that? You know what I mean? Are they going to be able to? We're going to inevitably be comparing this to, even if Split Fiction isn't out yet, you'll be comparing it to A Way Out. You'll be comparing it to the last one, It Takes Two. You'll be going, okay, this is good, but is it going to feel like their first at bat doing this kind of game?
And you'll only end up being really mad at one person as opposed to like three, possibly. Yeah.
Well, usually we just pick on the one person who's letting the team down in the kitchen, you know?
Usually me. The ADHD just can't handle it all. I just get scared the whole time.
Mike, you look like you had something to say about that.
Oh, no, I'm just excited for this one. Yeah, like Greg said, we will compare it to the others, but it is cool that there are more in this space, right? Like, that visually jumps off the screen when you think of a co-op game that you can share with your partner, family member, kids, right? We talked about Astrobot winning, right? And that guy giving the speech of, this is someone's first game, right? We think about the youth being able to play this. That's what this game will be to many, and they'll get to share that with their mom, their dad, their older brother, their older sister, someone in their life. And like when me and Andy played Split Fiction, it was so much fun to be on the couch with Andy doing that. I still think of me and Brian playing A Way Out together and what that brought us together. Me and Mick playing It Takes Two. It's like these are building moments for gamers that they'll always cherish. And I want more of that in the space, and Overcooked is one of those great ones, right? Of like that brings people together. Bring on more of that. So yeah, good for you trying something different. I like it.
Yeah. Next up, we have Game of Thrones King's Road. This was a weird one. Netmarble making it. Sports Illustrated says Netmarble has announced Game of Thrones King's Road for iOS and Android. Makes sense.
I told you when Netmarble popped, I'm like, these are the people who did that mobile action RPG with Marvel I liked, which I've already forgotten again the name of.
With the 2025 launch window during...
I'm sorry, Tim. I love you, and I don't mean to get in your way. But let's just all real quick. We don't do it enough. Give Blessing a round of applause.
Thank you.
Because he's the guy who talked me out of spending $50 on the Netties or the Netmarble game to get the Captain America Civil War skin. He's like, you aren't going to play this this mobile action RPG enough to justify this. And he was right.
I was really hoping I was finally getting my flowers for calling the Naughty Dog new IP, but it's fine. We'll get there.
We'll get there.
We're not there yet.
Yeah,
I'm still waiting for a lot of people to give me my applause. You know what I mean? For Indiana Jones.
Oh, I thought you were talking about like
Tree
how you're
lady.
saving the earth and shit.
Yeah. He just takes a massive flame.
Good. I need you staying up tonight, okay? I need you staying up. Keep that energy up.
This Gamescast is ending at midnight.
And we're
I'm gonna keep reading this.
Keep that energy up.
From Sports Illustrated. Remember, Game of Thrones King's Road, Andy, strap in, takes place during season 4 of HBO's Game of Thrones series. Arguably its last good stint before it really went down.
Oh, they wrote that.
This
okay.
is Marco Woots, the SI reporter.
I don't know why I was like, oh my God, that's their PR.
I just like, even though I love the shit. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Players take on the role of a heir to House Tyre, which controls a small, whatever the fuck, dude. No one's playing this.
I was gonna say, yeah, we don't need to
They
read
did
all
some
this
shit, and it is what it is.
Yeah, like Blessing said, right, when you think of Hogwarts Legacy and I think of Shadow of Mordor, I think of the ride that we went on Game of Thrones, and it's like, why haven't we got that? There should be a game like this. That is a money maker. And I see it and I go, oh, I want that. And then you bring up mobile, and I'm like, oh, that's not what I wanted. But someone should be making that.
Even then, though, Mike, like, Harry Potter ended well. Lord of the Rings ended well. Game of Thrones didn't. And I think we're still reeling from that. And freaking House of the Dragon is awesome. I love that show. But like, I don't know that we need a Game of Thrones video game at this point. Like,
interesting. It's a weird balance. I think it would be a hit. I think, especially with HBO, we're not done with Game of Thrones. We are far from it. So like, if you could give me Shadow of Mordor and Game of Thrones, that's a win. Think of that map. Think about all the iconic locations. You saw the characters and you were jumping out of your seat going, oh my God, Jaime Lannister, that's crazy, right? Like, I think Game of Thrones has the juice. It's just you have to make the right game for it, and that is not the right game.
yeah. Amen.
I'm telling you, just these mobile games, who needs them there?
Monster Hunter.
Yeah! You all should be playing Monster Hunter now. It's a good time, but it's not for everybody. But if you go right now and redeem the code TGA 2024, you get something. I don't know what I got, but I got something.
Real talk, Greg. How much have you played Monster Hunter now in the last 3 months?
Oh, I was going to say in the last month, I have not. I've been off it because you know how it hasn't happened. 3 months, a lot. No, I still play. It's, for me, such a great feeling of like, I cannot get downstairs, and if I turn on the portal, Ben's just going to want to play Astrobot, or he's going to make me use my phone for Forza. He doesn't connect. Well, he knows Pokemon Go now, as I've shown you in videos. But no, Monster Hunter now, he'll still watch his show or do whatever activity he's doing if I'm not involved, and I can play that. And then we walk so much, on the weekends and whatever. It's still just a nice thing to pop in there, kill some monsters, do whatever. New season just launched. Lots to do, lots to unlock.
Are you feeling good about the game, though? Like, are you... Like, besides something to do, are you actually having fun?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, this isn't just I'm wasting time. I need something to fill my thing. I do that thing like, oh man, I would like that armor set as my look, so I should be grinding for this to do that. Oh, the daily, or not even the daily, they've launched this special thing where I got to wear this t-shirt and kill this many things, so I'm doing that kind of thing. Like, there's, little challenges, and I think the gameplay is fun of tapping and swiping, and, there's dodge rolling. It's more active in a battle.
Yeah, I'm jealous, if I'm being honest, because I play Pokemon Go every freaking day. And I played Monster Hunter now once at Summer Game Fest, and I'm like, damn.
This is a better gameplay experience.
The fact you're level 48, fuck that, man.
As I said, that was old. I'm 49.
He's up now.
Greg is
for the record, don't act like I
am.
haven't played a lot of Monster Hunter now. I don't like that narrative you're trying to spin. Like I fucking did it in a night. I've played a lot of this fucking game.
You have not played nearly as much
I agree
Pokemon
with
Go
that.
as I have played.
agree with that. Okay? Don't act like I haven't played a lot of Monster Hunter now. I haven't played as much. This is, Gary didn't make me feel like this on the Helldivers.
Yeah. I've not heard one word said in the last 5 minutes. I'll be honest with you.
What about
Blessing
Double
sleeping with his
Dragon
eyes open.
Revive, Bless?
Wait, what'd you say? Oh, Double Dragon Revive? It looks kind of whack.
October 23rd, 2025. How the fuck are we getting a date that far out? That's weird.
Call your shot.
No, that's weird.
They're like, hey, GTA, don't
this
pick
reminds
this one.
me of Donkey Kong Country Returns HD. Why are you calling your shot that early? This is weird.
Somebody's got to.
This must be a record. This is like top three.
Of like furthest calling out a
To
date.
be real, top 5.
I'll
Elder
give it to
Scrolls
you.
6.
Well, that doesn't have a release
didn't
date.
have a date
unless
for
you know something we don't.
I'm talking about a date.
Okay.
Like an actual tangible is coming out.
Because I think of that title, I'm like, oh, that game's not coming out for a decade. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
It looks
Wow.
that bad. That's too bad. I have a big
I
heart
mean,
for Double Dragon.
it looks fine.
And
I mean, it just looks like what you expect a modern Double Dragon to look like,
No,
right? Which is
though,
kind of
but
budget.
in a bad way, though. Not in a good way.
In a bad, well, yeah.
Yeah. Because, like, you look at, like, what's a modern, like, Turtles beat 'em up?
Yeah,
And
but I think the last two Double Dragons have looked like this, or have looked like this quality. I remember, I think I woke up to it during Double Dragon Neon, where I was like, oh, this is what this franchise is now. I guess that's what it is. And yeah, this is just another one of those.
Yeah. Like, Streets of Rage 4 is like such a good example of like, Double Dragon should look like that. What I saw here, I'm like, oh.
I grew up more on Double Dragon than I did Streets of Rage, but I feel like I hear people talk up Streets of Rage more. Was Double Dragon ever?
Because the new versions gave more fucks.
Okay,
that's why.
Because I didn't know if this was a me thing of like I just had I got the short end of the stick of like Double Dragon just never had the sauce. It was always Streets of Rage.
I mean, that's kind of complicated, but like I'd say both were fairly equal. Streets of Rage probably got the like nod.
Yeah.
Double Dragon more like mainstream. They had a cartoon, so like
they had a movie.
Yeah, that changes shit. You know what I mean?
That makes sense.
But like, a Double Dragon should not look like this. A revival should not look like this.
That's just how they treat it now.
Yeah. And then we had Solo.
A Star Wars story?
Alex game.
No, this is another one I was
Solo
doing something
level.
else. And then you were like, oh, it's the Alex game. I was like, oh, okay. I just dropped that in there. No, we had nothing to say about it.
Then we got a Screamer 2026. Not much to say about this. I don't remember that.
Oh yeah, that was
this
like
brand new Screamer seamlessly
drive-in.
blends high octane arcade action with revolutionary gameplay dynamics and a deep storyline enriched by interwoven character arcs.
Cool.
Bear, can you bring up
Troy
Screamer?
Baker is a voice in it. They're like, this is you're driving a car.
Yeah.
This is a game that was out in the 90s. They're doing a re-envisioning thing of it, combining plot themes of human will, revenge, love, lore. Human will, revenge, love, and greed with classic sci-fi imagery. Screamer immerses players in the clash between personal desires and external forces that seek to control them. This journey unfolds through the eyes of a diverse cast of characters involved in a street racing tournament organized by a mysterious figure.
This is the one where I said this narrator is on the wrong trailer.
He's on the wrong. Yeah, exactly.
Because he's talking about these cars. He's like, a fucking something. This, and it sounds like it's a fantasy type game, but yeah. And at the end, they were like, get on the road, Screamer, or some shit like that.
It seems like it's like one of these that's like this, what? And then what we saw, but like they're saying good stuff in there. The game features contributions from industry-leading partners, including the animated cutscenes created in collaboration with Polygon Pictures, one of the oldest and most renowned Japanese animation studios.
Barrett, stick with me. I think of Skate the Infinity. You know what I mean, Barrett? You know how I love that? You gave me that in car racing.
I'm
going
to be honest, I haven't heard anything said in the last 10 minutes.
I like the well, I'm just letting you know I'm kind of into it.
I'm kind of into it too.
I'm kind of into it. I like anime.
I like cool racing.
What I saw looked cool.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, but
Give me,
it looked cool.
and it's not gonna be this. Give me Need for Speed Underground with more style. If it's that,
more style,
with even more style.
So much style.
Well, here's the thing: when the trailer first started, I started thinking about Need for Speed Unbound. Was that the last one that had kind of like weird? Almost anime flair to it. I thought that this was gonna be that. I was like, oh, they went all the way in. But if this ends up being that, I'm down. Screamer.
Next up, we got T-Lu 2.
I mean, we got
the right amount of tired. That was good.
Somebody should be putting the sign up, wrap this up. Let's get this moving.
We gotta go. I don't know if this man can play Helldivers after this.
Last of Us 2 coming to PC on April 3rd, 2025.
Yay!
Very cool. Again, love seeing PlayStation embrace PC with their biggest titles. I wish it was a little sooner. Like, I don't like this like delayed release. It feels like it's not doing that well. We see these numbers. I bet when this comes out, it does what? 1 million sales, something like that.
Get a good pop? Maybe?
No.
Okay.
I mean, I feel like it should get more than 1 million sales for like a Game of the Year contender. Like, right? Like, I get it. I understand why they're selling hardware, but like, this just seems.
It just makes these PC releases just never feel like a big deal.
Yeah.
They never feel like a big deal.
Yeah.
Unless they're day and date like Helldivers. But that's, again, exactly what you're saying is the right way to do it for that kind of thing.
Yeah, they've slowly kind of lost steam.
Yeah.
I'm still ready. I can go another 8 hours.
When are you going to go play Helldivers?
Great.
You're going to love it.
I like how Blessing can serve power for like 5 games and then drop that. Fucking nailed it.
Power's down again.
Yeah, I'm not here anymore. Keep talking.
I'm looking at my notes and Greg's notes trying to make sense. We got Dina versus Dina, best adaptation.
Yeah, well, I'm just making the notes. Shannon and the Dina from the show came out to talk about the best adaptation. I made the note, but then we moved on to Den of Wolves, which I didn't notice any news items from.
Yeah, but hey, Mike.
Yeah, I didn't see anything new and exciting out of this, right? Like, we kind of know Den of Wolves, or at least we've gotten the vibe already from a CGI trailer. I'm ready for, like, gameplay, maybe that pre-alpha, maybe an early access. Like, it's kind of like that with me with Den of Wolves, for sure.
Near the end of the trailer, they showed some kind of weird zero-G stuff where suddenly you're kind of almost like kind of running me a control, kind of shifting perspectives, and that was kind of neat. And again, if you haven't played GTFO, it's their previous game. It's a co-op game where you are, like, if you start making noise, these terrifying aliens will wake up, and it's a lot of fun, and it's really, really damn good. And because that game is so good, I'm excited for whatever this is going to be.
Is this a 4-person co-op thing? Is this a team versus team?
I think it's an extraction.
I thought we were all shooting at each other. Okay.
Yeah, I think it's like a PvE.
That's what I'm saying. Show me more. Why are we here? What was the point of that? Show me more. Get me involved here. Get me excited again.
Den of Wolves is a co-op heist FPS from the creator of Payday the Heist and Payday 2 and GTFO. In this techno thriller, you and your friends operate as criminals for hire in conflicts between rival corporations in Midway City. Gather your crew, design the plan, gear up, and execute the heist.
Cool. Zenless Zone Zero.
Yeah, these are my notes. Zenless Zone Zero. Amorphous or some shit from Hoyoverse.
Honkai Star Rail.
Tenders. I got a bread belly. I'm trying.
The word amorphous was said, though.
Yeah. But then, Sonic Racing Cross Worlds, baby. They showed all they had to fucking show. We're getting another kart racer from Sega, but they're doubling down. We've had Sonic All-Stars Racing. Mike.
I bought it.
We had Sonic All-Stars Racing Transformed. We had Team Sonic Racing. They haven't really found like the biggest hit since Sonic All-Stars Racing Transformed, which was when they like kind of combined a bunch of the Sega All-Stars and let's get them all in here. So that's what this sounds like. We're going to have a hit on our hands.
I hope that's what this is. I hope this isn't just a Team Sonic thing, because I think Team Sonic Racing kind of came and went. I liked it, but yeah, it didn't hit I don't know, that special factor that the All-Stars Racing Transforms games did. I want to be playing as Persona characters in a racing game. I think that sounds fun, so let's do it.
Ooh. Yep.
I thought it was funny that they, like, Jeff teed it up as if, like, this long-awaited or this long-standing franchise or whatever. And so I just wasn't expecting another kart racer or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, this is a big deal, Andy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, the sickos are waiting for this.
Okay.
And they gave it to us. But, like, we've been so fed.
I'm happy the sickos are having fun.
As Sonic sickos, we have been very fed.
Yeah.
And this is one of those ones where I need Jeff to give more energy to these announcements, because afterwards he's like, all right, let's talk about Mafia. It's like, no, like a Sonic Racing game was just announced.
Let the sickos enjoy it.
I'm sick of Jeff's
That
antics.
happened the last time. I'm like, Jeff, you're not excited about it.
Like, he wasn't. Go back and watch it, audience. Like, after this, he was so dismissive.
You sound like the audience when they talk about us reacting to stuff. Andy did not pop big enough for that. Like, he's clearly bored.
He just doesn't give a fuck about Sonic, man. I don't like it, Jeff.
Next up, we had Mafia the Old Country, something we knew coming into this, but like a big thing to get eyes on Game Awards. Hey, here's a big thing people are expecting. It's actually going to be there. Come check it out. I'm not a Mafia guy. I know Barrett is. Is anyone else at the desk a Mafia person?
I'm curious. I'm not a Mafia person, but I watched this and I'm like, I want to play this.
Yeah, I enjoyed
I
the
was
Mafia
just
games.
really impressed by the visuals and the fidelity of it also. This is something I would like to at least try out because I think it looks good and enticing enough and hopefully has compelling characters, and Barrett loving the acting and one of the other ones really kind of gets me excited for what sort of performances might be there.
I think if it hits at the right time, a great narrative and a good story, that could really go really far. One of the I got the whole 2 paragraphs in here that are about characters and whatever. The most interesting thing is something McCaffrey noted, and I just copied his tweet in, all right? Interesting. From the Mafia press release I just got, quote, as a linear, narrative-driven game, Mafia the Old Country is a focused package, ... Then back to McCaffrey. They're ditching open world, which this series has never been great at anyway. Wow. Most series pivot to it, not away from it. I approve. And Greg Miller,
and
now.
So does Barrett.
That's super exciting. Yeah, Barrett, of course. Biggest
Barrett,
Mafia guy.
let's let you off the bench. What do you think about Mafia the Old World?
Old Country.
Old Country.
Old world.
I think
Fuck you, Tim, you bitch.
I'm trying, man.
interesting setting. I miss it doesn't have the same energy as something like the first Mafia and Mafia 3, which I truly adore. It is exciting to hear that they're doing something way more linear that is like, even like Mafia 3 was the worst of them, especially with how buggy that open world was at launch. But Hangar 13 knows how to deliver story, and Mafia 3 is legit still one of my favorite stories told in video games in the last decade or so. And so for them to really kind of get together and hone in of like, what the fuck are we good at, and really just focus on that, I think is such a smart move.
Yeah.
And even though I'm not as into the setting yet, I'm still in because they know how to deliver that. And again, I'd highly recommend Mafia 1 remake that came out a couple years back. That was on my personal top 10. The actor who was cast to play the lead character, I remember like having a hell of a performance. The open world stuff was like, it kind of felt like LA Noire, if you've ever played that, where it's like, it's kind of there, you're kind of existing in it, but you can pretty much just play that like a kind of linear type of story. So it doesn't have like the same type of stuff as Mafia 3 does, but I'm excited. I'm glad Hangar 13 is still around, because after Mafia 3, I feel like that studio could have easily gotten tossed to the wayside from 2K.
They got Topspin.
Fuck yeah, though.
Topspin nominated.
Please keep going.
Next up, we got Dispatch from
Ad Hoc.
Yeah.
These are the former Telltale folks. This one is super exciting. Of course, Aaron Paul, Laura Bailey. Travis Willingham's got to get out.
Tim's face during that whole time was not happy.
What was
Tim
that
was
all
not
about?
having it. Me and Buzz was like, holy shit.
I don't know if
What's going to
we're
happen?
They're
speculating.
actors. They're acting.
Hey, man, things
Are they
happen.
though?
Yeah. What? The game looked cool. The game
Very
looked great.
cool. I'm a sucker for a Telltale game, and you also know that I love superheroes, and I've been calling for an Invincible or a Superman Telltale game for as long as, and then they gave me Batman. This
And
looks
you love Batman.
I did, and this looks cool in terms of, hey, first off, the art looks great. The art, I think we didn't talk about the art itself. Looks great. Looks like Invincible. But the idea of having
Yeah, it
these.
does.
You're dispatching these heroes out to crimes as you ride the bench waiting to get your shot to your suit or whatever. That's cool. Aaron Paul, I think, is a great actor. Obviously, Laura's a great actress. People called out a whole bunch of names. They said Jacksepticeye, and someone in the chat said Alana was in this too. Jeffrey Wright is in it as well. But if we can pause when we get to
I would love to see that, because like that's crazy. Like this looks awesome. Obviously, not much, but we see how it looks. We got some of the.
There she is, Alana Pierce.
God
Travis
damn,
Williams
dude.
in this moment.
Hell
Voice
yeah.
conversion.
Voice critical. Let's go.
No, fuck yeah, man. Like this looks rad. We did see some gameplay of like choosing the story elements or whatever. Like I'm in for this. Like this does seem like kind of a step up from what we've seen from this type of game before.
Yeah.
I think the art style is very cool. It being a new IP, I also think is very interesting. Like we've seen so many superhero stories, like the most superhero stories.
Yeah.
But like looking at this, I'm like, I'm kind of ready for something like
Hell yeah.
this.
I legitimately thought it was a show.
Yeah,
I was
same.
kind of
Yeah, for
confused,
sure.
but I was lost in the flirtation, and until it's you start to the Wolf Among Us. I was like, oh, this is a video game. Very, very cool. Thanks for the resub. That's my impression of Moist
that was
Critic.
good. I thought you were him.
I'll
Great
be
game to
honest,
be part of.
I missed a lot of words said in the last few minutes, but like there's Invincible vibes here.
Yeah.
Somebody said that.
They said it plenty.
We said that.
It was said about 4 times, but don't worry about it.
Let's power down to the next joke. Power down to the next joke.
I was lost in the flirtation also.
So
Did we
next
talk
up-
about Witcher?
So after Dispatch, Jeff came out and gave a insane speech of like, if you love games like I do, and blah blah blah, and like they had this build up, and it felt like it was about to be Half-Life 3. But then they started doing the taiko drums, and it's like, this is not Half-Life 3, and it started building Okami vibes. But it was like,
Oh, shit. Okay.
Not really. Orochi is scary. That wolf is quite hairy.
There was no oversight. Nobody knew this video was going up.
Andy, that was one of the Game of the Year videos at IGN, okay? Like, all the oversight was there. Shout out to Nick Scarpino. But real talk, like, it kind of was one of those things where, similar to the Onimusha situation where the orbs were there, and I'm like, no fucking way. All signs led to Okami. It didn't feel fucking real. This is unbelievable. And more than that, shout out to Jeff and team for giving Okami, the sequel, this much love.
Yeah.
And
making
like,
it
hey,
a thing.
This freaking matters because, like, sure, it might not matter to a lot of people out there. Okami is one of the greats. It is one of those games that was a standout, like, holy shit, y'all need to play this game back in 2006, whatever it was.
Same year as Twilight Princess, and I believe that was like, people said it was the better Zelda game to come out that year.
And I don't know that I agree with that, but the
people
reality,
say that, and that's like what people.
Yes,
that's
and
what people hold it to,
and that's important because, like, Okami is one of the games that now we all kind of look at as like, oh, we've had a bunch of re-releases and whatever, but like at the time, Okami was the game that the people fought for.
This is art
that like mattered more, and like I can't even think of like a similar thing these days because, like, to say it's like, oh, the Elden Ring of then is not true, but like it is special, man. Like, Okami fucking meant something. Nick Scarpino was singing about Okami in 2007 or whatever the fuck that was. Like, this shit's awesome, man, and I can't believe we're getting this.
But is he actually singing? He's just doing the beat, yeah?
He's just doing the beat.
Is that not Brennan? That's Brennan, that's Nick, and that's Craig in the back. I think it's like them a cappella.
Oh, yeah, wait, yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right.
And then Jeff Haynes pops up.
Yeah, Jeff Haynes, shout out.
You know, obviously, a big thing they ended with there is Hideki being announced that he's back as well. You mind if I read his letter that he put out?
Go.
To all of you, quote, until next time, ... How long has it been since the story was concluded with that? I didn't think the day would really come where I'd return to Okami and continue the story with my own hands. Even at this moment, my body is filled with both cautious surprise that this is not a dream and a joy that cannot be described in words. Everyone who has worked so hard to make this project a reality, the friends who believed in me and gathered at Clover's Inc., and most importantly, the voices of so many of you who have continued to support Okami even after such a long time. All of this has come together to create this miracle for which I am deeply grateful. Like a strong rising sun, this project is finally in motion, but it's still a small bud that is blossoming. We are ready to fill this new Okami with many colorful flowers and to do our best to fulfill the promise of quote-unquote next time in the best way. Everyone, please wait with anticipation.
God, I got goosebumps all
Me
over.
too, I know. I teared up reading the goddamn letter.
Dude, the theme song of Okami, you guys know how much I love music.
It's quite hairy.
Could have been better if it was that. But it's called Reset, and in parentheses, thank you. And like, it is such a, like, they knew what they were fucking building with this. Like, there was so much love put into this game, and I can't believe we just saw that. Like, I can't believe we're getting more. This reminds me, again, earlier I said, Last Guardian, getting a new Ueda game shown at this Game Awards, such a big deal. This reminds me a lot of getting a new Shenmue 3.
Yep.
This is crazy that we're actually seeing this, man.
Agreed.
Let's go.
Play the song one more time.
Closing out the show here in terms of announcements. We got a Naughty Dog game. The next Naughty Dog game from Neil fucking Druckmann. Music by Trent Reznor and Atticus Rose.
Insane.
Nuts.
Ross. It's been in development since 2020. Intergalactic. The Heretic.
Cool name.
Let's
Great
fucking
Beastie
go.
Boys song.
Let's fucking go. I am so in. Like, obviously I would be. No shit. Everything that I just said, I'm down for. What we saw, though, the, like, watching anime on the screen, the Porsche spaceship, like, the world of building, the end of this trailer where it's, like, them on the planet fighting, I'm like, holy shit, we are cooking.
Would you like
Who
some
wants to go
information?
first?
Let me give you some bullet points here because more has been revealed since this all went, right? Intergalactic stars our newest, this is a blog post, obviously. Intergalactic stars our newest protagonist, Jordan A. Munn, a dangerous bounty hunter who ends up stranded on Semperia, a distant planet whose communication with the outside universe went dark hundreds of years ago. In fact, anyone who's flown to it hoping to unravel its mysterious past was never heard from again. Jordan will have to use all her skills and wits if she hopes to be the first person in over 600 years to leave its orbit. I then have a series of bullet points from Shinobi, who is summarizing the blog and a New York Times article that has since posted, okay? Over 250 developers have been working on it for the last 4 years. After layoffs, Naughty Dog underwent a restructuring that Neil Druckmann must have said that would ensure the company could operate as an IP powerhouse. Returns to Naughty Dog's roots in action adventure that started with the studio's reputation of Crash Bandicoot. Story is set in an alternate universe where space travel has significantly advanced since 1986.
By 1986.
Well, I'm sorry, you're right. Yeah, okay. So what does that mean? Set in an alternate universe where space travel has significantly advanced by 19. So this is 1986?
Yeah, because all the old tech, like we're seeing all the
it's kind of like how in Fallout,
Okay.
I forget the exact thing of Fallout, but like
Yeah.
shit was pushed forward way quicker.
Yeah, like retro futurism
Yeah,
type
earlier
stuff.
on, and so now shit is like way further. But yeah, a lot of technology feels like it's rooted
Jordan's
in 1986.
Tati Gabrielle, who's been in a bunch of stuff.
She was in Last of
But
Us 2?
hold on, not just a bunch of stuff.
My
She
apologies.
was in The 100 on CW, which is like a cult classic favorite show of a modern era. She was in the Netflix series You and Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. She was also Disney Channel animated series voice on The Owl House. And she was the bad guy in Uncharted, the movie.
Yeah.
Right.
Ties
Was she
there.
not on The Last of Us 2? I thought she was one of the bad guy squad with
She's about to be Jade in Mortal Kombat 2. She was Nora in The Last of Us.
Yeah, there we go.
Will be an emotional, character-driven, epic journey with the deepest gameplay in Naughty Dog's history, taking our learnings from our previous franchises and pushing them beyond anything we've done before. It takes inspiration from the classic anime, like the 1988 movie Akira and the 1990s series Cowboy Bebop.
Let's
I was
fucking
gonna say there's something about this that gives me and I mean this in a great way. This is gonna sound like this reminds me of The Incredible True Story by Logic. In a way of
Dude, straight the fuck up.
if you listen to that album, like it is a concept album that is inspired by this exact aesthetic. The branding, the Cowboy Bebop, the space travel.
And Naughty Dog. Wait,
And
hold
Naughty
on,
Dog,
Bless. You're tapping into something
Logic
here.
was in the last was
He's
part
friends,
2.
yeah, he's friends.
And so like I don't know where that train can go. I don't know if that is just all it probably is very just much all coincidence.
No, it's not.
You don't think so?
No, dude. Like, they are fucking homies. Like, very close homies. I think it goes all the way to the top.
Yeah. Like
Man, this goes deeper than we could have ever imagined.
Yeah.
this gives such Logic vibes. But this looks fucking incredible. Sorry,
Worth
where
pointing
you
out,
going?
like, I'm just
True
the
story.
cameo from Kumail, the cameo from Better Call Saul guy.
Tony Dalton, who played Lalo and who was in also Hawkeye,
Yes.
the TV show. Yeah,
Sword
him in the background.
Master.
And the dad or the new boyfriend,
And
or
White
whatever,
Lotus.
about to be a stepdad. And then Jen was very vehemently texting me about it during it, and I just saw it there since we were doing it. But Jen swears, being in the room watching that on the giant screen, that woman with the eye patches, Hallie Gross, who of course wrote on Last of Us Part 2. And when I finally was able to look, and while you guys were talking, it does look a lot like Hallie. I have not been able to confirm that anywhere else.
Yeah, I mean, just that one small snippet of that awesome sword coming out. I immediately thought about that one interview where they mentioned how inspired they've been by Bloodborne and From Software and the sort of combat that that you expect with Souls-likes. And that's the first thing I thought of. I was hoping, hopefully we have some gunplay as well, because I want to shoot like a cool rad pistol like Spike Spiegel. But this looks so fucking amazing. This is I cannot be more on board with this.
Same.
I mean, I'm sure we're going to talk a lot about this in the weeks to come, months to come, years to come here. But then we ended it all with the game of the year, Baldur's Gate. The director came out giving the speech, and it was amazing, right? Like breaking down where games are at, how they're made, what we need to be looking at. Like, again, I think this Game Awards was the best at speaking to the people in the room, speaking to the audiences, and understanding like where things are. Thought that was beautiful. Anyone have anything to say about that?
No, I agree that it was beautiful. And it was a nice callback, too, of getting played off stage, right?
Yeah.
Whereas you can come back and it's like, again, they're learning from their mistakes. They're letting these people say what they want to say. It's awesome.
And then, you know, I know we didn't talk much about the actual award winners. That'll be a Games Daily episode tomorrow that you guys can check out on Twitch or YouTube or podcast services later. But I do want to give a shout out to Astrobot winning Game of the Year. It feels a little personal to me, just the fact that a 3D platformer can win Game of the Year in 2024. Like, I love video games so much, and I love platformers. And the fact that Sony came out with something that is so special, celebrating 30 years of PlayStation, that felt like the Nintendo magic that I hold so near and dear to my heart since I was a little kid all the way through to now. Them shouting that out in a speech, like, this was special. And like, I think that's going to resonate with a lot of people. Like, we brought it up a couple times, but him even saying that this is going to be a lot of people's first video game. It is. And that's so cool, so special. Ben loving Astrobot. That's amazing. Like, that hopefully is going to turn into a generation of kids that love a little robot with a very bad design. But like, it's very, very great that this is a Game of the Year, and I just feel awesome about it. Bless, what do you have to say?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with every single thing you're saying, right? I think the thing that really hit me the most was how much Nicholas Doucette was shouting out and showing love to Nintendo, even though he couldn't say it verbatim, right? Like, we know who he's talking about. And I think that's very important to talk about, like, where the industry has come from and how it all works together, right? How it is, hey, you got Mario back in the day, and like what that brought to the table meant so much for so many people. And the fact that game developers today, even if you're working for a rival corporation or whatever it is, you can take that inspiration and still, as I'm playing Astrobot, I am playing it and I'm thinking about Mario Galaxy. I'm thinking about Mario 3. I am thinking about like the ways in which this industry has so much important heritage to it, and we can see that stuff still shine today and still be important today. And the fact that he was able to say it on stage, I think it's very special. I think that's very meaningful. And I think it is the nice kind of like thing to come through and wash away, I think, what we get a lot when we read the internet and when you read fucking console war bullshit on Twitter that like ruins your day, right? Like, that shit doesn't matter, because guess what? Video game developers, video game studios, the people that are making these games, they just love video games. It's not about Xbox, it's not about PlayStation, not about Nintendo. It's about loving this medium and loving the stuff, being creative and loving the stuff that you're making and playing. And so I think that was a very special speech.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah, everybody. That's where we're going to leave you tonight. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Game Awards is always one of my favorite times of the years to hang out with all of you. But guess what? We have so much more fun coming, and it will never freaking stop, because we are kind of funny. We are a group of best friends that hang out together to talk about all the things that we love, whether it's Game Awards, Summer Game Fest, everything in between all of that. Every single day we're talking about video game news, movie reviews. Like tomorrow, we're doing Kraven the Hunter. I know it's probably not going to be a great movie, but
the review is going to be great.
Greg, Andy, Nick, and
Greg's mom
are going to watch Kraven the Hunter in the middle of the day. We're going to come home and react to Kraven the Hunter live, our fresh take. So if you're a Kind of Funny member, you're going to be able to watch all of that. It's going to be an amazing time, and that's what this is all about. And just giving a little tease towards the future, next year is about to be absolutely incredible. A lot of the games that you saw tonight, we're going to be talking about all through next year. Some of the games that they announced for in the future, like Intergalactic or Onimusha, we're going to talk about next year, review in later years. It's going to be a great time. I want y'all to hang out with us. And remember, Kind of Funny has our 10-year anniversary coming up very, very soon. First week of January, we're going to be hanging out with all of y'all, having the best time of our careers. It's going to be absolutely awesome. So if you're watching right now, thank you for hanging out with us all day. Please subscribe. Please become a Kind of Funny member. Please follow us on Twitter and Blue Sky and Instagram and all of the things. We love you all.
Hey, well, but yeah, we love you all. And Tim, that was very emotional. Great. I don't know why he's acting like we're fucking turning off the stream. Mike, we got to go defend freedom.
We are going to defend freedom, Tim. Helldivers.
Let's get out there, everybody. Democracy doesn't sleep, and neither do Mike and Greg.
I'm so glad that Mike respects Greg more than I do, because like I'm not staying. You know what I mean?
I've been in this office for 12 hours, and I don't plan on fucking leaving.
I love you all so much. Bye.